What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday. We are back with another movie review crew show. I was going to say podcast, not a podcast. We are talking about Spider-Man 3, the movie, the one that came out in 2007. I got my Spider-Man t-shirt on. My microphone's not working still, so a little bummed about that. But we're going to get it going. And, of course, not here alone, but I got my cast with me here. So bring them in one at a time. We'll go ladies first. So, Hailey, what's going on?
Hi, I'm so excited.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome back. Thanks for I saw you were watching it last night, right? So
and a little bit today. I couldn't stay awake for I didn't realize it's like a 2-hour something movie. I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. Couldn't stay awake. That should say something. All right, we're gonna bring in the next person here. We're gonna start with Jason here. Let's bring him in. Jason, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
I was telling you guys. I was telling these guys backstage. I have a small headache, like near like my right eye, and I think it's due to the fact that John has been pestering me all day. So like, we'll see how we get through this.
Yeah, it's certainly only the beginning. It's just starting. It's early, I guess I could say. So be ready for the trolling, my friend. And then of course we have our good friend Alan, Climbing Comics. Alan, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? I have a lot of thoughts, and I talked to John earlier today too. So that guy,
I think I
already see him in the chat.
Which is
might as well send him the link. I might as well just talk to him face to face on here. Honestly, it's funny because all these quotes he copied and pasted them from our DMs earlier today. It's so funny.
So he was already throwing them.
I love you, John.
He's already throwing you shade early, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So like I said, this is the movie review crew. We kind of put this together since last year. It's been pretty cool. Our third episode, technically, right? If we're keeping track here. So it's been fun. And this is definitely a different type of show that I'm not as used to. I feel like I have all these agendas and show notes that I usually do with like origins and stuff like that. So I like this is one of my favorite shows just because it's just so much more chill. So I will say thank you each for hanging with me here. Everybody that's in the chat right now, we'll go through the chat here in just a second. I see a few people. Before I do, though, if everyone watching right now, if you're not subbed up to these three, make sure you do so. I put their information in the description below, YouTube channels, Instagrams, and all that fun stuff. So we will get into let's get into the chat real quick, and then we'll dive into Spider-Man 3. We got Ruben Guzman right off the bat. Cowabunga fam, good to see you. And yeah, John already throwing out the shade, talking about Topher Grace. So we'll get into some of that stuff as we go along. Alan pulling double duty here. King Topher. Yeah, these are. Yeah, he's gonna be copying and pasting all night. We got Uncanny Swag in the house. What's going on, Swag? Good to see you as well. There you go, Jason. Some love for you. There you go. All right.
One of these I've seen already.
So, all right. So let me set the stage by saying that, we're choosing this particular movie, or we chose this movie because one of the main reasons was because I've never seen it. And I definitely got some interesting reactions from each of you and people in the chat from the last show. And, still, I don't know if I should regret that or not. Uni X in the house. What's going on, brother? So I've never seen it. This is my first time that I've watched this movie. I've seen, I think, every other Marvel film, even stuff that's not part of the current MCU, but except Spider-Man 3. So it was definitely interesting to, we lost a bet. So watching this movie now for the first time, and actually my girlfriend Lindsay, we both watched it for the first time. So that was at least an experience to be able to watch that we'll call it an experience. So I've shared before that I haven't. One of the main reasons I didn't watch this movie was because I just heard so many bad things. And again, this is before I was into comics. This is before I was obsessed with the MCU. It wasn't and actually, this was 2007, right? That this film came out.
I think
Yeah,
I think so.
2007.
Seven?
So that was my first year in college. So I know I wasn't like concerned with like what movies were coming out at that time. So where I was at my life, I think is one of the reasons why I kind of skipped it or kind of went over my head. So I definitely saw the first two, and definitely liked them for what they were. Hey, we got Candace in the house as well. What's up, Candace?
Hey, Candace.
So I mean, I don't know how you guys want to start this. You usually I go around the
There's
circle.
many places.
There's many
All right,
places to start.
So let's just start with general thoughts here. General thoughts without getting too much into the weeds. Let's give a grade here. And I want to start this. I want to start this with Jason. So Jason, why don't you just give us?
What you said? We're grading it.
Yeah, just your general thoughts and how you grade this.
We're grading it right now, right? Is that what you're saying?
Unless you want to hold off on the grading, we could hold off on the grading.
I figured because you
okay.
Like you normally your shows normally you do that. You grade.
We kind of jump right into it. Yeah.
Well, I have two grades because one is
that's fair.
One is like the actual grade of the film itself, and the second one's my nostalgic grade. You know what I mean? Because I gotta sprinkle some of my past basically, because like when you watched it or when it came out for you, you were in college. You said your first year of college, right?
Yeah.
See me, I was in seventh grade. You know what I mean? So I was in seventh grade. So like,
I was gonna wait.
I
was waiting for that.
Age Justin.
So like, this was my shit. You know what I mean? I watched 1 and 2. Obviously enjoyed them, and as a kid, like even if it's bad, like you don't. And especially if it's like a movie like this, you don't notice how bad it is. You know what I mean? And like,
sure,
you roll with the punches basically. So like, I watched it when I was in like 7th grade, and I loved it. Obviously it has many flaws. What's it called? But for the actual grade itself, all right, the actual grade of the film, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, and that's I feel a very fair grade because it was a terrible movie. Like as a film itself, it's terrible, right? As far as like even the CGI, I know it was a long time ago, but even the CGI was like terrible. A lot of like Tobey Maguire got shit, like for how he portrayed the character, but anyways, I give it a 6, right? That's the real grade.
Yeah.
My nostalgic grade, I give it an 8.5 with white pages.
Wow.
Whoa.
8.5 white pages.
Yeah. Cause it's a terrible movie, but all the cringy shit, like all the real cringy stuff, I laugh at it so much. Like it is hilarious to me personally. Like I don't know. Some people can't stand it. I love it because it's so funny to me now. I acknowledge it's terrible. But again, I'm rolling with the punches. I'm deciding to enjoy it. But and another thing I wanted to point out is the fact that it had so much impact on pop culture with all the memes that came out of that. All the memes that came out that even to this day, with No Way Home coming out in before, all these still new memes are being made, recycled from that movie. So as far as entertainment wise, what we got out of it, we're still getting stuff out of it, all these years later, 20 years later. So I haven't even been reading all these.
Now Universe X is agreeing with you on the grade.
You know what I'm saying? Like in a real life scenario, it's a 6. It's a terrible movie, but nostalgic wise for me, because when I watched it, where I was in my life, it's an 8.5. I give it that.
Okay, all right. This is great because and this is why I wanted to kind of kick this off and pass it your way, just because I knew a little bit more detail of how you felt about this film. So to set some clarity up, by the way, I want to give a hello to Emmanuel. What's going on, Emmanuel? Thanks for swinging by as well. The Venom frenzy in studio forcing him and Raimi's inexplicit love for Sandman were not a good mix. At least we got Billy Maguire. Yeah, and all night, by the way. I'm just going to be highlighting these, not necessarily going to be reading all of them, but they're certainly going to be up there for everybody to kind of check out. So, all right, totally fair. I totally get it. And I think that, what you said about like, you're laughing at a lot of these parts. I think it's like, it's that we want to clarify that. And again, because I was laughing too, but it was like I was laughing more at the film than I was laughing with the film. And so, and I think, to a degree that's kind of right. Like how you look at some of these scenes and
I'm laughing at the film too,
right,
but I'm enjoying it.
But you're enjoying it. Yeah, no, totally.
You know?
You're entertained. You're entertained, which at the end of the day, that's, I mean,
I feel like
it's like,
it's a comedy. I feel like this specific film is a comedy because it's so cringy and because of all those like he even has that, like he even does the emo hair flip, like, you know what I mean?
God.
Like,
we're gonna get into the emo hair
flip.
All right, let me pass this over to Hailey. Hailey, what are your initial thoughts and how would you grade this film?
Well, I just love that, Justin, you're so nice. You're like, that's a fair. I get it. That's super fair. I'm just
He's about to spit out.
I just feel like
I'm a nice guy.
The nostalgia grade for Jason, but then it's like, if you know it's so terrible, that 6, that's like above average. That's above average for a terrible film. Like, what? I feel like a proper grade of this is like a 3.0, 2.5, because it's okay. I get that it's like, right, it's a comedy. I would assume we're all laughing at the film, but those filmmakers, I would assume, didn't make it like with the point of it being so like comedic, and so like it just means it's just so bad. But it's funny. It's so funny, but it's just so bad at the same time.
She's not lying. She's not lying.
I was watching it last night and like today, and I had just forgotten about so many parts, and like that there was just so much in it. And like at every scene, I was like, what is going on? And also, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man throughout that whole film, like even prior to the symbiote, is like the worst person. Like I was just watching it, just like, this is so hard to watch, and I couldn't stop laughing. So, a solid 3, generously, is my grade.
I respect that. But there was 2 things that made, actually I didn't mention, that made it a 6 for me personally. One is the trumpet music theme when he gets the black suit.
You and this damn music, though.
That theme, you can't knock the music because the music was fire. The soundtrack was fire. And number 2, that scene where he gets the suit and he's upside down when he was sleeping, and he like wakes up upside down. He looks at his reflection. That was taken right from the animated series from the 90s. That exact scene. So like I watched that as a younger child, and then seeing that exact scene like put onto the big screen, and like that was cool for me, which like is a personal reason for why it would be a 6. But I respect it. She's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Terrible movie.
So I'm gonna pass it over to Alan next. Alan, what are your initial thoughts, and how would you grade this movie?
It's so funny because right now I'm looking at pictures of detached government. Ouch, John. That hurt.
I'm with that. Yes, correct.
Well, all right. I'm gonna go a little bit. Like there is a little bit of nostalgia. Oh, I'm gonna age myself now too. God. So I was in my 4th year of college during that year. So that's when it came out. So I do have a little bit of nostalgia for it. But it's funny. I'm looking at Fall Out Boy pictures right now. I'm like, hey, that's where they got inspiration from. But like I rewatched it a couple nights ago. There's just like so many good scenes that I sent I just took videos of different scenes that I sent it to these guys about so James Franco, he's just like it's just so funny. So I will have to give terrible. This. He's terrible. They're all terrible. Mary Jane is terrible.
But they're all like decent actors and actresses, which made no sense. You're like, you could do better.
That is so true.
And you're not.
The cast is really talented, honestly, if you see their other works, but like
it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Oh God. But okay, all right. Get to my grade. I'll be a little generous. I'll give it like a 4.0. I'll give it a 4.0. Yeah. I think because that was one of the first live action things I saw with Venom in it. Even though it made 0 sense. Like why did this come here? Yeah. Like it's so bad. It makes me feel so good. I was like, what the heck are you talking about, Topher? But But yeah, I would
Yeah,
probably.
you're saying the boat.
Oh,
Lady No Good agrees. I was a 4.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Lady No Good. I would definitely give it a 4. There's, I wish they didn't put so much into it. It would have been better. But yeah, I'll give it a 4. Yeah.
All right. So I think that those are all fair grades, and I will say I thought actually. So I'm in the middle of everybody. So with the way I was going to grade this film, and I'm grading it based on just the film as a whole. No nostalgia for me, nothing of that nature. Just because I wasn't into it at that time. The other thing too for me, it's harder. It definitely is like more eye-opening or more jarring. I would assume it's more jarring for me. Maybe not, because I mean, you saw it back in the day, and it was jarring for you then. But me watching this film and just comparing it to what we obviously have now is like no fair comparison at all in terms of the quality and all the special effects and all this other stuff. So I try to keep that separate as well. But I'm also somebody who. John can attest to this. I'm someone who's known to give high grades for a lot of things, and I happen to just really enjoy a lot of things. And maybe I don't know if it's just my expectation level is set very different than a lot of other people, or things are just I group everything together as great, and I have to distinguish what the difference is between great and a little undergrade and a little overgrade. Like that's something I'm, I guess, kind of working on. So with all that being said, and someone who likes to give, like I said, high nines or high nines about books and stuff that I love and talk about, I was going to give this a 5 out of 10, and I think that is that's very fair coming from me.
My 6 can easily go down to 5 too.
Right.
Like it's not.
Take
it's
out
not
those
a set
trumpets,
6.
and
You know what I mean? Like, no, honestly, even with the trumpets, it could it fluctuates, but it ain't high.
Yeah, UniX, first time for sure, and so that's kind of where I stand. I will say, like, obviously, there were a ton of things that made me kind of question. Usually, I don't even do that when I'm reading something. I never really pull myself out of it to like say why did this take this turn or whatever. But obviously, there were definitely some things in this movie that had made me, real. It was just so jarring that really stood out. So, and we'll get into like some of those details. But so 5 out of 10 for me. It's kind of where I stand. I totally get the nostalgia side of things, Jason. So like I respect that aspect, and obviously talking about the nostalgic feeling and what you get from that, like obviously no one can argue that from you. So like that's you, that's your heart, like that's that's totally understandable.
It was a specific time in my young youth.
Yeah,
that's a stupid way to put it. My youth.
No, I totally get it. People talking about the dancing scene already. Cringe factor.
That shit was so funny, man. Like I'm watching, I'm literally like laughing out loud. And, like I don't know.
So I thought one of the ways we could go about this is maybe we talk about some of the things, if you guys have any, talk about some of the things that we generally liked about the film.
You want to just talk? You want to just talk for like 30 minutes and shut up
Jason can just take this.
Let's throw one or two pieces out there. We'll go around the horn and go with that. But Jason, I'll throw it back your way. Like what was like a scene or two that like, or was your favorite or something that stood out to you the most?
Wait,
hold on. Before we talk scenes, can we talk the intro with the webbing and stuff? I always enjoyed the Maguire, the Raimi films, the intros. They put in a lot of work and like the editing and stuff with the webs, and like I always love that because it's like 3 minutes long. You know what I mean?
And it calls back to all the previous movies, right?
It goes back to all the previous movies and like it stitches everything together.
That was cool.
And, like, that was cool. But as far as like scenes, obviously that when he gets the black suit, because again that was taken directly from the animated series from the 90s. So like for me that was so cool seeing that on the big screen. One of them has to go to the when he gets the symbiote and he turns all emo and he comes back home and his landlord's like, where's my rent? Because you guys know this, everyone's seen this meme. Hailey was telling me she hasn't seen all the memes from the specific movie that's like branched out, but you've probably seen this one. He's like, give me rent. And he's like, I'll give you this rent when you fix this goddamn door. And he's just like bugs out on him. And it's just fun. It's more funny because Toby looks like a bitch, They still look, even though he's supposed to be like this tough guy now with the symbiote. And he's like, I'm strong. he's still kind of like a wimp still. You know what I mean? Like like the way he portray. I don't know. That's just him.
Is
You know
that
what I
just a
mean?
Toby thing though, or is that?
It's like a across
But-
the board Topher,
I,
Toby.
that is I would agree that's a Toby thing because he's gotten a lot of flack for that. You know, like I've heard like
Mhm.
he's too much of a whiny like Spider-Man or like you know what I mean. But I thought it was even more funny because he has that connotation of like just wimpy and like even though he's not supposed to be. So like I don't know. I thought that was funny. Obviously, that's branched down to like a million memes. If you guys seen the one where Infinity War when the snap the not Infinity War the Endgame the final snap, but it's it's taken that scene instead where it says where he says fix the goddamn door and then he snaps. You guys have definitely seen that one.
So that's the thing too. I think I'm with Hailey. I haven't seen a lot of these memes. I guess from this movie, like they're just wearing a lot of things
No,
that
back
like.
me up here. You know what I'm talking
Triggered.
about. You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
what you're talking about. Yeah,
What are you
there's
talking
a ton of memes. There's a ton.
And I mean, like, yeah, that's one. And like, honestly, some of the if we're talking like besides like funny, cringy stuff, like if we're talking about something I actually like genuinely liked, some of the Sandman scenes, like from the beginning, like the earlier part of the movie where like he's like he goes into that that truck with like the cops. You know what I'm talking about in the beginning portion of the
Mhm.
movie.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Becomes a big-
Some of the
yeah.
camera shots were pretty cool and how they did that, and I don't know that the action stuff I kind of liked. You know.
Yep.
I'll say that.
Okay. All right. This is good. Keeping it positive. Uniax, I was laughing because he said he said, "Oh no lie, I'm gonna go watch this right
Oh,
after
you
this."
have to.
You have
It's a
to.
good laugh. It's a great
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah. All right, back to you, Hailey. Give us a moment or two of what were some of
Or
your
three.
favorite times. Yeah, or three.
4. You know. Keep it
I mean,
going.
that's like a lot. I was like really thinking hard, like as
I
like
know.
Jason was talking, I was like, or what, like, and you talked about the intro, and I was like, if only they could have brought that same like creativity to the rest of the film.
Different department.
But so I would say something I kind of liked, or no, I did like. I was watching the film and I found myself being like, oh, you see Spider-Man like jumping like from building to like I feel like you see him like swinging and doing all these crazy tricks that like and this just might be my memory failing. I just don't remember from like the Tom Holland films, like being able to see him interacting with the neighborhood as much as I saw like Toby doing. Like he's doing all these wild, spider webby things. And so,
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I thought I appreciated that, like seeing him like do his thing.
Yep. That's fair.
And
You can also pass if there's nothing else. If there's nothing that comes to mind. I don't want to put you on the spot, but like it is tough. It is. There are.
Okay, so there was just like nothing that I was like, wow, this is really good.
Right,
It
right.
was more of like, this is so funny. Like when he gets emo and because he
I'll
has the
take that.
symbiote, I was like, what? And then like when Topher Grace just appeared, I just like I totally forgot, like blacked that out of my memory. And then he shows up and I was like, he's supposed to be Eddie Brock. And I was like,
Yeah, that was a surprise for me.
It was-
I didn't know
he
he
just
was in
shows
the
up.
film. I had
he
no
just
idea.
shows
he was
up
in the
out
film.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's like, hey, Captain Stacy, I'm dating your daughter.
Like I'm dating your daughter.
yeah, I felt like it was just like a hodgepodge. If for nothing else, we saw so many characters. There we go. We saw so many characters that just, I was surprised. I was like, well, we're going to get Venom. We have Gwen Stacy. We have her father. We have
They just threw
MJ,
everybody in there.
Harry. I was just like, wow, this is just, they were like, screw it. Let's just
Yeah, let's just do it all.
do the thing.
Don't forget about the very important character, the butler. That was a huge character in the film. Harry's butler.
Couldn't say anything before that moment. Oh my
I seriously, yes. And in terms of the meme thing, like I didn't really. My boyfriend like came in like halfway through and started watching it with me as I was like just like laughing. And he was like, "Oh, that's a meme. That's a meme." He's like, like
Man
this
of
is
culture.
super cringy. Yeah, he was really. And I was like, "Oh, is it?" I don't like. Maybe I live under some kind of rock where I don't know all of the Spider-Man memes, but I didn't know it had that much of an impact. So I was kind of like, well, this is a thing. But okay, yeah.
No, you're not alone. You're not alone there. So all right, yeah, no, great points, Alan, what about you?
Oh, I'm so glad I went third because I had to like try to think of like the
I gave you
couple
time.
of things. Yes, thank you. No, but actually a really good scene, even though the CGI wasn't great at that time. I don't know if you guys remember when Sandman was he just turned into sand and then he tries to grab the locket of his daughter, and then like I remember that music was pretty like sad and epic as well. And then he was like trying to grab it, but then it just like kind of slips through his hands, and then he becomes like a human. That was a pretty touching touching moment for me. I actually wish they did more Sandman and like kind of gave more of his background. But I think I'm just gonna generalize my second favorite moment into like basically like what's his name, like all of James Franco's moments where he just
Now the pie.
when he's eating the pie and he's like, and she's like, oh, how you like that pie? And he's like, so good. And then that's just like right after he tells like Toby that he's dating MJ now. I was like, oh my god, this guy is nuts. And it's like, I don't know, he just has like all of these one-liners that I'm just like, oh god, when he's like when he's laying in the hospital bed and the nurse is like, oh, are those your friends? And like they seem really nice, and he's like, they're the best. They're my best.
With this like wild smile too. Like the smile just feels like a little crazy.
Yeah.
Was it this movie? Was it this movie in the beginning where like before he lost his memory, Harry was like slapping Peter in the beginning? Was it this one or the other one?
Not this one.
No. It wasn't this one?
Not this
you know what I'm talking about.
I feel like I would have remembered that.
That scene, it's one of the Spider-Man movies where like he's pissed at Peter and he like slaps the shit out of him.
Oh, it might have been this one when like they're fighting. Was this when they're fighting in his mansion?
Not when they're like, yeah, it might have been the mansion.
Okay.
I don't know if it was this one specifically though. I just remember like James Franco slapping, Toby. I just remember that. Maybe not this one.
Man, these guys. Yeah, I would say those are probably. I have a couple of very memorable scenes, but I would probably say those two were probably some of my favorite scenes. But I do hope we get to not favorite scenes later on in this talk.
we will definitely get to the not favorite scenes for sure. I'm really glad none of you took there were two things that really stood out to me in this film that I really liked, really appreciated, and I will even say one that for just a half of a second had triggered the back of my eyelids to water, a tiny half of a second. And the scene that I'm talking about for that particular emotion or feeling is when we get to see Stan Lee. And to me, I again, knowing that I've seen like every other film and obviously knowing we're never going to see another one of him again doing some sort of cameo, and to think that was already out into the world for years and I literally have never seen that moment was actually really, it felt kind of special to me. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, it's Stan. Like,
and
it was
this
just
cameo was a good one too. Like what he said, right? I forgot what he said, but it was a good line.
Yeah, he had a good line. Yeah, and I remember they're standing in Times Square. He's looking at the sign on the building or whatever when he's standing next to him. But just like it was almost like totally caught me off guard because at this point I'm not looking for that anymore. You know, in these obviously new films and TV shows. So that was pretty special. And again, like triggered just the hint of like, I'm never going to feel that again. I'm never going to feel that again. Like that, like there's nothing that's going to catch me off guard with the Stan, you know what I mean? Like, and again, especially from something that's been out, for so long. So that was definitely a special moment. Yeah. And then the other thing that I really liked was Bruce Campbell being in the film. I had no idea that he was part of this. I am a huge Bruce Campbell fan. And just to see like him being, was he in the other?
In the first one, he was the announcer for the wrestling thing for.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
The second one I forget, and then the third one is.
The second one was like he couldn't go into the theater. Right?
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, who is this?
Bruce Campbell. Is a French dude.
That's the Evil Dead dude.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was the
I was like,
the concierge at the front. or the post.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah,
That
so
was a
I
good
was
scene.
right.
It
That,
was.
I was really enjoying, especially when he's like giving the sign and like he's like,
Yeah.
all right, bring it, and then he's like, no, and they're like, he's like yelling at him to go back, bring it back and all that. So I was like legitimately laughing at that. I thought that was really funny, and again, being that it's Bruce Campbell, I'm a fan of his, so that was nice to like kind of see him, there again. Otherwise, I was going to make the joke earlier and I forgot to, so shame on me for this missed opportunity. But I was going to say I totally forgot that Tom DeLonge was featured in this film. And if you guys don't know who Tom DeLonge is, then that's probably a really bad joke. Oh man, no one knows Tom DeLonge. Alan, no,
No. I'm looking at IMDb right now. I can't even find him.
On this
Wait, I
panel
might-
right now.
I ain't looking it up.
Do you know Blink-182? Have you ever heard of that band?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know Blink.
He's in this shit. That movie?
He is the Tom of Blink-182, Tom DeLonge.
He's in this.
He,
Who is he?
He's Toby. He looks just like him. And he has the emo hair. He looks exactly like Tom DeLonge.
I like got
God,
it once I
okay.
looked it up and I just
I didn't get it. Sorry.
That's so good.
That's all I kept thinking. When I started seeing him, I'm like, wow, Blink's in this. I wonder if Travis is
Wow, Blankson.
you're really cool. And then he started doing the Michael Jackson dance moves, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Oh yeah.
I see Old Wolf Tony in the house. What's going on, Tony? Says, why does Jason seem so bored? Justin, let other people talk. Yeah, my bad.
I'm smiling. I'm laughing. What do you mean?
No, he's busting my chops because I talk a lot. And Bill, good to see you. Saw him in the chat earlier. Bobby as well. De La Ghetto, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. There's something in the background. Yeah, there's the lyrics. There you go. Boom.
Mhm.
I was just waiting for them to break out in some Blink-182 songs. So all right,
good.
Yeah.
Jazz.
So we can go on any. Oh, you know what? One other thing. I liked what's his name? Jameson from the Daily Bugle. He just played that same character, just that he's played in every film, every single film.
he's like the OG. He's like the good, like out of all of them, like yes.
Like his moments, I was legit laughing. Like they always had, and I'm glad that they brought him back in the new stuff. I know we talked about that, but
Was this the one where Betty Brant kept buzzing him whenever he?
Yes, that was funny.
That was
Also, totally forgot that actress was like. It just felt so random that she was in this. I was like,
Elizabeth Banks, right? Was that Banks?
Mhm.
I
Elizabeth
think
Banks.
so. Yeah.
From
I feel
Hunger
like
Games.
they're so
Since
much
the
bigger
first
than
one,
this
too.
role, and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
I don't know. At that time, I don't think she was like at that time.
which
She was
is
probably
so
still newer.
surprising.
She was low.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was low key back then. I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. All right, we could talk about some things that we weren't so much a fan of. And anybody can really kind of jump in here.
Yeah, me. Pick me.
Go for it,
Pick me.
Jason.
Yo, what's up with Venom's vampire teeth? With
That is so
what's his face?
wild.
Topher Grace's. Whose dumbass idea was it to give him vampire teeth?
They gave him
I have
fangs.
no
At
idea. I
first,
noticed
it's
that.
only fangs because I was
Like-
watching it and I was like, why does he have fangs? Like, just like these two little, and then it like slowly morphs as like time goes on. His teeth look so jacked up, and
But
I
at-
don't.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm like, they tried, maybe not their best, but it was the first like live action Venom, right? And like
Yeah.
they used part mask, they used part CGI, and like it was 2007. So I give them a little something, you know what I mean? Because they did what they could, but like you didn't need the vampire teeth.
You didn't need
You
it.
didn't need to
You
add
didn't
that.
I actually preferred the Venom, like when it was just full Venom, just because I think they did a pretty good job with the full Venom.
But he was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
he was like lanky though. Like, Venom's kind of like brolic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like
They did
even-
make him
even
buffer.
his-
They did make him buffer, like
I
when
mean,
he put on
yeah,
the
but
suit.
like-
yeah,
but it's not
Did
like
they though?
like it wasn't Venom. You know what I mean? Venom's like brolic. He's big. Like
I
they
didn't-
added some stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't like his voice. I didn't like that when he, even sometimes when he did have the full face of Venom, that you still heard Topher's voice. Like that to me was it pulled me out of the film in that moment, just because I was
They didn't have that like monster voice.
Yeah, that's which
Venom has.
right, which I
Yeah.
guess also I'm like used to, so maybe that's to a degree also why. But like even then, I would have just thought maybe that should have been, yeah, like a monster type of voice more so.
Mhm.
And we
There's,
get
like-
little bits. We get screeches, you know, we get some screeches, but we don't.
Yeah.
But
we
there's
don't
no
get-
personality to Venom. Like I guess like if you've watched like the new Venoms, you're like, I really like the new Venom. So to me, I'm like, right, Venom has like its own personality
Mhm.
and experience. And then in these, even when it takes over Toby, it's kind of just like you only get screeches. You don't get anything else. Like he has zero ideas to what's happening. Like he just is like, I'm super emo and I'm just this big jerk.
Yeah.
And now I do dances. Like, excuse me, sir.
Why were the dances? Why were they the thing that painted him evil? Why was the emo look?
Because
Why
they
was
were
that
tragic.
What?
So tragic.
like? I wish I was in the marketing boardroom or just the boardroom in general when they came up with the ideas of this and said, "Yeah, we're gonna make them super emo because emo is."
It was 2007 though, and I'm not trying to like defend them, but like it was 2007. You know what I mean? And like it was
I
a
had my
different
emo
time back
face.
then.
Yeah, but even then, I didn't see emo as like evil or monstrous.
I mean,
Agreed. But
You
like
know?
emo is like the trend because like right at the beginning he's like kind of emo, but and then all of the girls like love him, which is so ridiculous. He's like strutting around,
They all like
and
looking at
everyone
him.
is like, "Oh my god!"
half that
So
thing is, like in
ridiculous.
the beginning part of that scene, it looks like the ladies like him, and then the rest of the half, it looks like the ladies are like, "Yo, what is wrong with this man?" Like, you know what I mean? And he's like going like this, and then they're like staring at him crazy. They're like, "Yo, get the away from me!" You know what I mean?
Shino,
so
appreciate the
crazy.
love. She said, "Haley, you just
Oh, Sheena.
in your house looking all
Love you.
gorgeous."
No, for real, those like dance, like I just now have it like seared in my memory. Furthermore, just like the hip thrusting
The
after he
snaps.
comes out of the store where he's just like going for it, and I just was like, in like what, like you were saying, Justin, like I just want to be in the space where someone was like, this is the scene
Right.
that makes this movie. We have to
Yes.
watch Tobey Maguire, and it wasn't just like a quick second. It was like thrust, 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 more thrust.
A lot of thrusting going on.
and then we're gonna go clip to like him being with like Gwen Stacy and having a whole dance number, which just like brought me back to this like strong feeling that Marvel should just
Yeah.
no longer do like dance numbers or just musicals, because I just went to Hawkeye and then I came here and I was like, have we moved in the right direction? I think
what are you
not.
talking about, Justin? You would go pay to see that performance.
I would know.
I would.
For the laughter,
Let's
for
be
the
honest, I would.
entertaining
For
laughter.
the entertainment. Come on.
But honestly, those snaps and the jazz,
Yeah,
hilarious, man.
you do that. You do
So
that good,
good,
Jason. You do that
hilarious.
pretty good.
I didn't know he
We're
could play
gonna find
piano.
a video of Jason doing the dance, like recreating the dance
I
somewhere
thought,
on like
yeah,
the
I
dark
just did it. I
web.
just did it.
It is forever recorded here on No Good Comics channel.
Yeah, that's gonna be a GIF on
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, careful, Jason. Careful. We do have some good,
Please,
gifts.
please wait.
Thank God.
We
Thank
can
God.
continue the show.
So bad. Let's see. Bobby here said, I didn't like that all three villains cried. I didn't even think that Sandman could cry. Not that there's anything wrong with showing emotions.
I just like how that starts with like, why did they all cry? Not that that's
Word.
anything wrong, but why did they all cry?
But that's another thing I think we haven't mentioned yet either, is that the fact that the way that they used all these characters at one time definitely seemed obviously just so overkill. And now we know, and obviously with some of the newer stuff that's come out, we know it can be done when it's done correctly. Obviously, we have a lot of films that have a ton of characters.
You can't be comparing these
and
films.
can be done. No, but I'm just saying. But the idea of
working
them,
with breadcrumbs, Justin.
but they just
they was picking at
but
stale
they just
bread.
threw. No, I hear you.
Where
I
they
hear you.
Now have
Like,
Where they
giant
go.
factories
They could have
pumping
done
out
better,
bread.
Jason.
They
just
still could have done better. Yeah, they
You
totally
can't-
could have
Sam
done better.
Raimi is the same guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
and
different time.
they just threw these characters in. It just definitely seemed more of a desperate move for
like
just
what
getting character
Candace
names
said.
in there, you know.
Which would you rather see? The Toby dance on loop? Toby dance, obviously, or the Marvel music?
On
Toby
loop.
dance.
Or
because
the
that
Marvel music.
Marvel musical, just like think about it, like getting inside your head. I feel like that's
Yeah, it's
like
terrible.
Music torture. Music torture.
I
The Tobey
basically-
Maguire dance on loop is just
I
fun.
basically
Wow.
sing it every day. I sing it every day.
Yeah.
Justin wakes up. It's my alarm.
Yeah. It's my jam.
Yeah. He does it all day. So
That's true.
It's my line
That
now.
is true.
The cap line. Yeah, getting a lot of laughter here. Again, everybody, we got 9 people hanging with us. Appreciate everybody hanging out in the chat right now. If you're not following these fine folks here on the panel, make sure you do so. I put their information in the description below. All right, what else? What else is? I mean, I have a list, so I mean, we could hit
Same.
up some of that list if you want.
can we bring up the point that how did Toby think that he could propose to MJ
Oh my
the
God.
same day that he just made out with
Word.
Wednesday? That's
Full
like
of himself.
Purposely.
Crazy.
Right,
He
right.
invited that. It's
When-
just
yeah.
the audacity on that man from scene
No,
one.
That's why he got no friends, man. Terrible. His only best friend wants to kill him. That's why. He only thinks of himself. Terrible.
And of all kisses, it's that type of kiss. Like
Word.
you don't do that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of kiss with any, like
I-
that's like their
That's an
kiss.
MJ
I
She let it
guess,
rock though.
like-
First.
MJ.
Mary Jane was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it rock. Like that was Spider-Man. It was different. And then the actual girl comes in. Gwen comes in. And it's like, oh yeah, Pete's been helping me with my homework. And like, yo, serious? Like, damn. She's asking
The
for the
fact that she
picture.
let it go, though, I even was like, excuse me.
She asked for the picture, and he's like, "Yeah, I got you." And it's like knowing full well it's him. You know what I mean? The picture too.
Mhm.
That's terrible, man. Couldn't be
Terrible.
me. Couldn't be me.
This guy.
But that was like, that was him from like I honestly just didn't understand like their characterization of Spider-Man. Is there a point where Spider-Man is just like a narcissistic jerk? Because like that was just Toby from like point A to point Z. Like
Yeah.
before the symbiote, Mary Jane's like crying and he's like, go get him, Tiger. And I'm like,
Okay.
I would have words. I would have so many words if that
Look,
was my
in the
boyfriend.
books, doesn't he become like a little dickish? Like when he gets the symbiote? Like
In the
a
books?
little bit, but
Yeah.
like it's
Doesn't he
not
become
like a
dick,
shift.
right?
Hmm.
He becomes then he gets like dark circles and stuff, and he looks kind of weird.
Yeah, he's emo, and then he's like, "I'm so cool, like no one can mess
Mhm.
with me." But before that, he's literally like, "I'm so cool, maybe someone can mess with." Like that. I didn't understand. I was so confused. He just treats MJ awful, and he's like, "I'm gonna ask her to marry me." What? Ugh.
Man. But okay, just to defend both sides, right? Because I don't think MJ was that great either, right? Because I remember in 2, she's like, all right, I'm going to support you being Spider-Man. And then now she
She
gets
was a
all
little-
jealous each time that like he
Yeah.
gets praise, or like when he needs to go out on a patrol, she's like, all right, I guess so.
But I hated that they characterized MJ that way. I will say that
Yeah.
I felt like when I was, if in a more serious note, like I felt like the way that the film was portraying like Toby, and then this like weirdly womanizing aspect of him,
Mm-hmm.
and then like portraying MJ as like she was having a lot of feelings, which he rejected all of them. And then she started to feel jealous. And then he kisses a girl in front of her. And like she's still somehow like kind of like not a great girlfriend. You know what I mean? I'm like, he just cheated in front of her, and she went to dinner with him. Like I don't like MJ's the same.
Yeah.
Defend Alan's point. What you're talking about happened in the second film, didn't it? No?
What?
Which one?
What happened in second
What you just
film?
said, like just being not supportive and stuff about his Spider-Man thing. Wasn't that
Well,
the second
I
Was that
film?
in
have
second
words
film?
about I have words about the second film because she just left her man at the altar to get
Well,
to
she
go
did.
to go with Pete.
She
So
did.
But she went with Pete. Is the
Yeah.
she showed her loyalty to
to Pete.
Pete.
So I
I
thought
would defend MJ.
no, I thought that MJ was the most like normal out of all of them in terms of just
That's
like
right.
the character and just the not so 0 to 100 different directions. Like I
Mhm.
felt like she was a little bit more grounded than any other character. So I actually didn't really mind her.
Yeah.
But I get, I mean, I hear you.
But
on
they
some
definitely
of the-
needed to not be dating. I'm very glad that
Yeah.
like I did
I
like
was-
toxic relationship.
They were not made for each other.
But we find out 20 years later, or however many years later from No Way Home, that they're still going out or married or something.
Oh
Remember?
yeah,
They're still together.
they are still together.
From the
They
From
made
the
it
film.
work. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but he
Oh,
learned.
spoiler
He
alert.
looks like he learned. You know, he
I think
matured.
he's like
He's grown.
40,
He's
45
grown.
now.
He's a grown man
Old
now.
man.
plenty of years.
He's like
plenty of years.
Dustin's age.
Oh, shots fired. All right, so
Wait, Alan,
we-
weren't you
we're
older
just
than
gonna
Justin?
remove-
Oh,
yeah, thank
no.
you.
Were
thank
you older than
you.
Justin when the movie came out, though?
Alan, you cannot start that.
Can't say
fight
that. I
like
can't say that.
Oh man. The other thing, one of the things that we kind of talked about the CGI stuff. But I was gonna say CGC, the CGI stuff. I didn't like that too was like tough for me. Like the very beginning, that whole fight scene in the beginning, where you could clearly see it being a green screen, like Harry just kind of standing there and moving back and forth in these fake buildings going by and these little, like all that was like, look, I get that it's 2007, but I mean, even to what you said, Jason, like even for it being that time, like that wasn't
terrible.
really, that really wasn't like what the quality that they had at that time.
But I did like the fight scene just because he was in his plain clothes and like doing like his Spidey shenanigans and stuff, and like I don't know, it was kind of cool to see him in his like tattered brown suit and just doing his thing.
Was this when he was trying to get the ring? It was flying
Yeah.
around? Okay.
I like the CGI was terrible, but I like that because like the whole ring thing, trying to get it.
What was the other thing I was going to mention here about? Oh no, I said that green screen. Yeah,
I felt like the Sandman CGI wasn't as bad, like comparatively. Like when you see that as the opening screen, and then just knowing the Venom and Sandman were coming, I felt like I think Alan had mentioned like the Venom was pretty decent when they don't show his face.
Yeah.
So like I felt like they like you saw that they could do it and then they just didn't do it. So,
They reused the Sandman footage from this film for No Way Home.
All of it?
That
Was it all of it
confirmed.
though? It was. Okay. Okay.
Because of COVID, he didn't want to, or I don't know the deal if he didn't want to or something, but they couldn't get him in, so like they just did their voices. The Lizard too, they got CGI from
that's crazy. That's
Oh, that
Garfield
makes
movie.
sense why he wasn't like I was so curious. Like when I
they didn't really
rewatched
use him.
this, they had like his human form, and I didn't realize that he could do that because when I watched No Way Home, I just like remembered that he was like a sand dude. So
Yeah.
By the way, one of the things with this film is I thought from the way you would describe this, Jason, and saying when you were shocked that I didn't see this film, I thought that there was going to be a moment in this film that would unlock something huge in No Way Home.
No.
That there was going to be this significant, like, good thing I saw this because now I get this.
Well,
reference.
actually, yeah, no. I mean, if you want to count, like, there's a lot of memes that came out of this. So like,
No.
like
That's the film as a
original,
film. The film as a
content.
film. No, because
But,
there was nothing like in the right. There was No Way Home. There wasn't anything where I felt, like I missed out on or didn't understand. And yeah, like I knew Sandman was previous just because I had mentioned before, like I saw bits and pieces of this film. I just never sat through the entire thing, but I thought that there was going to be something more significant than that. So that was kind of a bar that I had set at that point. So when nothing came other than like, you see the daughter, Flint's daughter, I guess that's like kind of it. But, and then the Stanley, that was probably the biggest. Yeah. Like I said, Stanley was the highlight.
Oh, I have a question for you guys. Like, all right, what did you guys think of them adjusting the story that Flint Marco was actually the person that killed Uncle Ben?
Terrible.
You didn't like it?
Lazy.
Oh,
they didn't even like really like they addressed it at the end, but in general, I felt like his storyline was so like pushed aside. Like we got so much other stuff throughout the whole film that I just kept waiting to come back to him and to maybe like even have more of a real flashback and to have a deeper understanding of his motivation. They kind of just like you can kind of tell that his daughter's sick, and then at the end he's like, my daughter was dying, but she's also still alive when he's out of like when he sneaks out of prison, and it seems like some time has passed. So I'm just kind of like there are missing parts
There are missing parts.
They tried
Mhm.
doing too much. That was,
Yeah.
they just tried
Mhm.
squishing too many things together.
Which is my point about too many characters being. If they took out like Sandman and Venom and just had it be more about like Harry and the issues with all that going on, I feel like that would have made it better ultimately.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't know, or at least Venom or something. Like there were just so many
Yeah,
things.
just Venom.
Yeah, and
That's it.
it was
Yeah.
just hard to care about everything that was going on. There was no way for me emotionally to get there for anyone. And then because of that, it took away from Harry. So like I feel like Harry, not being as focused while other things are going on. When we did have a scene like the butler scene that I was joking about earlier, like
Bernard.
yeah, like it's crazy because that I'm sure was supposed to be meant as like this, let's touch everybody's heart with this scene here and really give this like, motivational kind of speech or whatever. And for him to like this old man just kind of come out of nowhere for like the second scene, the first one being that he wanted food and order food because MJ was coming over. Like that's the first scene that we see the old man. Second scene we see the old man and he comes in with this significant, like wise, like full of wisdom type of message and we're just like, who, like,
and he listens to him. That's the key. Like, he actually listens to him,
right?
Which
and
is
like,
so wild. You're just like, you just watch them beat each other up,
right.
like him go through all of this crazy stuff, and now, what?
You were just telling this guy to make you food. Like, you were just yelling at this guy
I know.
for MJ and all this stuff. Yeah, so that was a thing too.
Man.
62 says I got 3 tabs open and a lot of people talking. Yeah, so there Jason, this is why you're being saved right now with all the no trolling going on right now from John, because it looks like he's live at the moment. I don't know if he's with Gary B or if he's live on his own channel, but yeah, either way. Yeah.
Damn,
so
crazy.
anything else? I mean, I know there's a lot, so feel free if there's something else that stood out to you, chime in.
Liked or disliked?
Topher Grace.
Period. Like you guys
Period.
can discuss. Like I just,
Just drop this.
I don't understand the casting decision. It was so funny. My boyfriend was like, I just feel like everyone is so soft in this movie. He was like, you got this guy playing Venom. Tobey Maguire just feels too soft to play Spider-Man, and I was like, you're not wrong. Agreed. And just like how they chose to introduce like Eddie Brock, I was like, well, he's just like you just don't like him. Like, I guess is Venom supposed to be outside of like Topher Grace being the worst in like
from that 70s show
casting. Yeah, like that's
Eric,
all I could see.
Eric from that 70s show.
It's like Venom meant to be. I haven't read like any Spider-Man, so is he meant to be like this ridiculous jerk? Because I know he's kind of like a villain, but like I guess what is more accurate, the like Tom Hardy or the Topher Grace? Like comic accurate is I guess what I'm asking. You guys would have the knowledge, not me.
I thought Tom Hardy more accurate from what I've read, which is not a lot at all, but from the little that I have read, I would get more of the Tom Hardy vibes.
Definitely.
I feel like Hardy's like current Venom, like current like Kate's Venom, like you know what I mean, like where like as like an anti-hero type thing. Because back then he was a villain. You know what I mean? He was just, I mean, he had his moments of anti-hero eventually, but like when he was first introduced, like for example, like the timeline would be like this film, I guess. You know what I mean? He was a dick, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Kevin?
But he definitely wasn't Topher Grace, you know. Like,
I just wish they introduced him in a different way, not just like appearing like in the middle of like a crazy crane scene and like him saying, "Oh, I'm dating your daughter," and that's it.
So, which is not at all how you would introduce yourself.
Was that like Raimi, like this universe's version of like the Gwen Stacy save, but like he saves her, even though it's like, you know what I mean? Because like she does fall, and he saves her from a tall building.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But she's supposed to die.
Yeah, no, it's like in the books, like she's dead. But I'm not saying it's accurate. I'm just saying like, was that their like slight tip of the hat to like the books? You know what I mean? Even though it's not, you know, what really happened.
I would assume so because she falls like from a really like.
I'm saying,
yeah. But that's like not like that's where I was like, you're just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping it sticks. Like that's kind of how I felt when, like, especially Gwen Stacy came into it, and I was like, why is, like, what is the point? Like, the point of her entire character was just to make MJ jealous.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
That's it. Like, that
Yeah.
is all.
Right.
She wasn't an actual love interest, because, like, the only time he's really engaging with her in that sense is, like, when the symbiote has taken over him.
Yeah.
And
That's
plus,
true.
what's it called? Pete stole his girl, kind of, for a
Oh,
night.
yeah.
I guess.
Oh yeah, that's
Right.
true.
And then
Oh,
we did the
yeah.
dance number.
Add to that, you know.
She
But
felt
still, it
really
was
bad
point-
after that.
But it was pointless.
Yeah.
A lot of things were pointless. You know.
You know, okay, I'm gonna say the most. I'm gonna choose the most wholesome person that I think is from this movie, and it is the neighbor's daughter, like the manager. The manager's. She's so nice.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Baking
meeting
cookies.
someone like that who's so nice? She's making Pete cookies, and he's
Yeah.
such a butt to her. Like,
Yep.
and he's just like,
Yep.
oh, give me some milk. I was like, come on, guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You got nuts?" She's like, "I can make some." He's like, "Go make me some." Right?
Yeah.
Okay, like,
I
yeah.
just,
Make me so.
She's like
immediately,
such
like,
a
you know?
awesome, like, she's such a wholesome person. She was like fighting for like Pete and MJ to get together. Like, I was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, she was great.
redeeming character. One.
Yes.
Rest
yes.
of the cast,
Yep.
0.
Forgot about her. I had another part here. I was going to mention that. Where was it? I should have numbered these bullet points. It's not good. The part where part of the film that really took me out of things was when they randomly decided to have Harry come up with this plan where he made MJ break up with Peter on the bridge.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why is this a thing? Like, why is this even a thing? And then he like, and she does it. Meanwhile, I'm thinking like, okay, like if he tells MJ like, hey, you have to do this, like, what would be the real discussion? The discussion would be like, you have to do this or I'm going to kill you. Right. So like, essentially her life is on the line. So that I would get, like, if your life's on the line, then you do whatever he says to do. And if that is that he wants you to go break up with a guy on a bridge, then go start to do it. But the minute you are like away from him and you're with Spider-Man and you know Spider-Man is Spider-Man, just be like, hey, get me the hell out of here. Let's go somewhere. I'll tell you what happened. And don't actually break up. Like, don't like, I'm breaking up with you and walk off the bridge just for Harry to be in the corner, you know, near a tree, just like, you know, winking at her or whatever. Like that was just, and then later when like he meets up with Pete and Harry and Pete, they're in the diner in the coffee shop. And he just like, you know, says, yeah, she sees someone and he admits out like that it's him. Like he gets so upset, he leaves, and then like he turns around and like winks, and then he disappears when the bus or whatever like goes by. Like, where did he go? Like, where, like, is Green Goblin like, but like, boom, like he can do that? Like, I didn't understand.
magician,
what was crazy to me
All that.
is that what was crazy
He's
to
a
me is that
magician.
your boy from like childhood is telling you that, you know, like, I stole your girlfriend, you know, and you're just laying this all on him, and Pete's just like, oh, okay, like, and he just like walks
Because
away.
Pete's been the worst boyfriend the entire. I
He
mean,
has
at
been.
that point,
No, but I'm saying
like,
like,
Why is this
I'd
Harry's
be-
goal though? Like, wasn't Harry in the beginning just trying to kill Peter? Wasn't he legitimately trying to
Because
kill him?
his dad told him go for the heart. That's what his dad told him.
I was like, connected the dots here for everyone.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you know, like, if Harry said all this to him, and Pete's reaction was just stupid, he's like, oh, all right, and he just walks out. He walks out of the coffee shop. He's like, all right, guess he's dating my girl now. Like,
Right.
sucks, and he just leaves. Like, that's it, bro. Like, you're not gonna ask him any more questions,
Right,
like, or like try to get to, you know, I don't know. That was
Yeah.
None of the communication in this movie makes sense. Like, ever. Like, none of it. At any point. You just like see the scenes and you're like, no one would react like at all in that way.
But what I did like in the final fight was the whole like metal poles and the camera work, like how it was just
for
capture.
this, and like it just
Mhm.
kept panning to the different poles, and like Spidey jumping in because of the sound, you know.
Mhm.
the
That was
symbiote
really
hates,
cool.
like sound and stuff, and like I don't know. I enjoyed that part. That part was pretty cool, especially when I was younger watching that. I thought
That
was
and
really
I'll
cool.
add on to that part. I also liked where, going back to what we're kind of liking. I like the one scene where he's in the bell tower at the like before all that, but as after or before he's like defeating him, where he's in the bell tower with wearing the suit Pete, and initially when the bell first starts to ring and you see Venom. The symbiote, just this black like screaming, trying to get away, and he's like, I thought that scene looked pretty cool. The way
That's when fans had hope. That's when you didn't see what Venom was gonna be, right? So you're like,
right,
"Ooh,
yeah, that was in the beginning.
It could be cool, right?" And then you see
Right,
Topher
right.
Grace. You're like, "What the hell is this?"
Yes. For some reason, Topher Grace is at the church.
You know,
it did have a lot of potential.
For some reason. Yeah, good call there.
They just flushed it down the toilet immediately right after that scene. There, like,
that was so crazy.
No,
like, why would Topher Grace just be at the church being like, "Oh, please let Peter Parker die"? I was like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
But in the newest Venom, there's like a church scene as well. Is that something from the comics, or is it like a?
I think that was pulled from the animated series too, because that happened in the same episode. I remember.
Because I was like, oh, there's a church scene.
And
as in, like,
I don't know about
Venom
the books.
Carnage.
Was there a church scene in the books? I'm not even sure.
I don't remember the books. I remember the animated series though.
Yeah, they had that almost like they picked those two scenes. The one where he gets the suit and he's the reflection in the mirror in the building, and the church scene. They took that right from that episode from the series.
Oh, that's cool.
62 says it's like a joke. Hey, let's take the lightweight stoner guy from the 70s show and make him in.
Terrible decision. He's a great actor.
He is.
Yeah,
he is.
I like. Yeah. Do like him in other stuff. I was excited to see what's her name, Bryce Dallas Howard. I didn't know, like, when I first saw her, like, I didn't know what like kind of direction. I just like her as an actress. And I was like, and that was one cool thing, like seeing all these actors and actresses. Like, I'm like, whoa, like everybody's so young. Like, look, like that was definitely a bit of an eye opening.
Terrible, like
yeah.
Good actors, but they're terrible.
So bad.
Why are they terrible together? Like, makes no sense.
They said Web of Spider-Man 1. That's how we get the suit off the church bell.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
I just remember watching that episode though in the animated series as a kid, and there was just like
yeah, that's right, Charles Best. Shout out to my dad. He was the interior.
Oh, sweet, nice man.
So bad. I've never read it. I've never taken the time. I should read it. No, I've never read Web of Spider-Man. But yeah. Anything else? Any other? I mean, we can go anywhere. Positive, negatives. I feel like we touched on.
I think also, yeah. Like after watching the second one and then watching the third one, I think that kind of skewed it the downward way, because the second one was so good.
Second one was
good.
Yeah,
with Doc Ock, that was good.
Yeah. It's been years since I've watched the second one. So, Alan, you watched them back to back?
Yeah, I watched them back to back.
The first, starting with the first one, or you went all three? Oh, okay, nice.
And what's crazy is the CGI for Doc Ock's. Oh, actually, they didn't use that much CGI. I remember they built his actual his arms, his mechanical arms. They actually built something. So maybe that's why the CGI looked better in 2 rather than 3. Because I know they built something like that. Yeah, 2 was good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of them, and so I just rewatched this, and then I haven't seen any of the Tobey Maguire ones since I was like a teenager. Probably.
Ooh.
Yeah, I definitely don't recall a lot of things from those first 2.
I do.
Jason's like my childhood.
Yeah. I was in 2nd grade when the first one came
out. Oh God, don't say that.
Wait, you were in 2nd grade when the first one came? That means I was in
2002,
first.
right?
I was in first.
2002, right? That was the first one.
For the first.
Alan is like, what?
High school, guys.
I was high school. Yeah.
Yeah, but you two got that the young Filipino genes, so like you don't got to worry about nothing, baby.
Baby. I drink a lot of water.
exactly how I was.
That helps.
To counteract the whiskey, or
Oh,
Oh,
oh, call
got-
me out.
we got
call me
Love
out.
Face. We got Love Face back
Yes,
offering
yes.
some
Yeah,
more
I was just gonna
services.
say,
Very nice. If anybody's interested in any services from Love Face.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I says, wait a minute, Justin, your dad did the interior and you never read that issue. If I was him, you would throw. Yeah, I've never, never. The one issue that I have read from my dad was 141, the Marvel team up.
yeah.
Oh,
Did read that.
sweet.
your dad
But,
had it, or
My dad was the interior artist for that.
I did not know this about you.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah, everyone
well,
gets shocked.
what Bobby was
Oh.
saying here. That I don't know. Are you familiar with Web of Spider-Man?
I am not, just
The
because I
series.
read
Okay.
zero Spider-Man, but give me the knowledge.
He was the
Justin,
interior.
you got
for that.
one of these.
What is that?
This is from Zap.
Turn that winner upside down into. Oh.
Oh my god!
It's a $5 coupon.
Oh,
But
I didn't get to
in-
see it because I used it immediately.
Oh, really?
Well, I didn't even mean to, but the guy, it wasn't even the Corey, the guy I know, but it was another guy. I just saw it there, but I didn't realize that was what they used. That's great. That's great.
so funny.
So good.
Yeah.
Wait, so tell me more. Now I need to know.
Yeah.
I'll just send you the link, Hailey. I actually had my dad on for my comic collector origins as as a guest and like picking his brain on some stuff.
Okay, send this to me because I'm gonna watch it. It's
Well,
so cute.
The funny thing is that I never was into comics up until 3.5 years ago. I was never, I always looked at it as the family business. I feel like I tell a story. I'm sure a lot of people know, but like I always looked at it as family business. Didn't want anything to do with it. Growing up, he used to take me to like Comic-Con, like New York City Comic-Con. Like he used to always have a booth. He would be in Artist Alley. And I would go when I was, a lot younger. And then it was like, that was cool. Like I was still into like the characters and stuff, but I hated reading. So that was like the biggest thing for me. I just didn't want to read. So I was not into comics. I just didn't care for comics. And then like, he had all these drawings and all this other stuff. And then, little by little, I got into like Pokemon and video games and all this other stuff. And I just didn't care for any of that stuff. So it wasn't until literally 3.5 years later that I got into comics. And I remember telling him this. And I'm like, yeah, like it's cool. I made an Instagram account and all this other stuff. And I'm showing these books. I'm buying books. He's like, wait a minute, you're just now you're getting into comic books. What the hell took you this long to? Yeah, which like kind of worked out in a way because it's like I got to hear all these really cool, or I still get to hear all these really cool, unique stories from his past that he and I never connected on up until these last 3.5 years. So like as a father-son, it's like a new opportunity to just kind of, vibe on hearing these other things. So that in that sense, it's been really special. And he's been in the chats and stuff. He hangs out on the chats here. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now look at your office. It's just
that Daredevil, he drew that Daredevil up there.
Oh, that's
I'm
crazy.
not pointing
that is so cool.
But he did that, and then he did what was there was just the book that came out like 6 months ago, and that was
was it the Spider-Man?
The nonstop.
So nonstop Spider-Man issue number 1 had literally like 15 to 20 variants, and what they did was they asked a bunch of older new and old artists to come back and do a cover, and he actually did one. This was only this is probably now like 9 or 10 months ago, but that was cool. Because I've never been into comics during a time that his work was actually being published. So, being able to see that on the shelf, buy that.
Too?
Yeah,
that's the interior.
The interior for that. Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Ooh,
that's awesome.
That's a big book nowadays.
That is a big book.
You know what's crazy though about this specific copy is I went to Justin's LCS to give the owner an A-OK. I wanted to give Justin just to leave it there so for him to pick it up. I was taking a look on the wall, and I had no idea his father did work, anything like that. And I saw this book. I picked it up for how much is it? Like $50 or something. It was or like $40. It was cheaper. Then I picked it up, and I told Justin. He's like, "Hey, my father, he did the interior pencils in that." I was like, "What are the chances I go to give you drop you specifically off something, and I pick up, that off the wall?" I don't know. That was just
crazy.
So cool.
No, it was crazy.
That's crazy,
so cool.
man.
that was like we were just starting to get to know each other. Like we were just talking, I think, around that time. But I
That was
remember,
earlier.
yeah, and I remember like I'm like, oh man, like I hit Jason up like the owner of Zap is like, hey, this guy, dropped something off for you, by the way, and
This
that's
guy's
where
like leaving drugs or something for you.
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. so I'm like, oh, like that's cool, and I find out it's you, and I reach out and like. And then that's when you posted that book. I'm like, you're like, yeah, I was there anyways. I was picking some stuff off, so I dropped. I'm like, oh, what'd you get? And you're like, tell me you got that book. I'm like, oh, my dad actually. Yeah, that is really cool, like crazy coincidence that all kind of tied in.
And it's in theme with tonight's show because that's tied with 252, right? With
yes,
was it 252? Or is it?
Yes,
Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. With it's tied for the first appearance of the black suit.
The black suit.
So it's in theme with show with also
so
your father too. So
yeah.
Awesome.
You want to hear a crazy story about the black suit and the opportunity that my dad had? And Jason, I may have shared this with you, or maybe you as well, Alan. But or maybe you've heard when I talked about it. But my dad back in the day had an opportunity to be the artist, the interior artist for Secret Wars, like the famous 8-issue Secret Wars series. And they had asked him, they gave him 2 options. They said, we're going to give you 2 different options. We want to go in 2 different directions here. So what one would you be interested in, going in? And I'm sure there were some other variables to it, but a general sense, he did at one point have an opportunity to take it. And it was either that or this other book, which was called The Aladdin Effect. And I'm sure no one's heard of it. Well, you and I saw it because it was, Zap had a few. I own a few copies now just because I bought, anytime I see it, I usually buy it. The Aladdin Effect is not a very well-known book. It is a graphic novel in magazine format. And cool my dad thought, it is pretty cool. Unfortunately, it didn't like take off in the same way that Secret Wars did. And so he went in that direction. And then, the rest is kind of history. And if you look kind of side by side now, everybody knows Secret Wars. The books are, obviously very popular.
Crazy.
Very, but he was right in that era of like the black suit and all that other stuff. And he had other opportunities to draw the black suit, mainly like the Web of Spider-Man stuff. And some of that stuff, but it's kind of crazy to hear some of that stuff.
Dude, that's crazy. That's
so
cool.
I'll send you guys a link just when you get a chance. I had a lot of fun. Obviously, I have a lot of fun. It's my show, but like it was extra cool just talking to my dad and hearing him, just share all this stuff. And there were a bunch of people in the chat who asked questions as well. I remember Copy. I was just getting to know Copy 801 at the time, and Rob. He had connected with my dad because they were both big into DC, and he was asking all these great DC questions live, on the stream. Cool. So it was just a cool kind of experience. And there was a lot of stuff I just had no idea what he was talking about, or I was I heard for the first time, or he has all these experiences with certain other artists and editors and things like that. So it is really,
that's a really awesome thing to dig into with your dad, especially like you said, you weren't into it for so long, and now you basically just need a whole other house to store your.
Yeah, that's right. We're upgrading, baby. We're gonna upgrade one day. Another house.
Dude, that's crazy, man. I heard I read that Marvel book about Secret Wars, and Secret Wars, Jim Shooter made that whole mini series based off of the trying to sell toys. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to sell toys, and then was all right, let's put let's make a mashup of all these different Marvel characters into the storyline, and then just for some reason the black suit ended up happening in that series. That's so crazy.
The way things kind of fell in line there.
Yeah.
Yep. So sorry to go off guard or off point here, but I mean we are on theme. We're talking Spider-Man.
We're talking Spider-Man.
So I'm going to derail us for a second because I have a question asked the group.
Let's hear it.
Can our next movie review crew be the X-Men films?
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I haven't watched them.
Hold on, let's pick which one though. There's a lot.
You've never seen any of them, right, Hailey?
So I had recently watched the first X-Men, and that's it. That's all. That's all I've watched. I haven't seen anything else.
The second one kind of fire. I'm not.
I would also want to rewatch the first one because I'm not gonna lie, I was doing work, put it on the background. Like didn't
I'm
really
down.
watch it.
I'm down to start with the first one. I am down for that because
Same.
I haven't seen the first one in a long time.
Same.
And this might be a scenario similar to Jason and Spider-Man 3 where because I know those films, a lot of them got kind of crapped on too to some degree. Maybe not as bad as Spider-Man 3, but those films, I remember being a kid then and like I loved those films. Halle Berry, like all the actors that were chosen for that. So that would be a cool way, a cool movie to break down and to hear our opinions. And obviously based on like the different times that, we were watching this initially and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm down. I'm sure I won't speak for y'all, but I'm sure y'all
love the movie.
I'm down.
Yeah.
X-Men, that's my jam.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Jason's all X. He's
Yep.
all X-Men, dude.
Dude, I love Jason. I love how much you push Hickman's X-Men. I love it. I love that you and I know we're staying on this off, but like not a lot of people. I mean, I follow like 2 or 3 other X-Men accounts that are dedicated to X-Men that are purposely like they have the name X-Men in their account name and they have a podcast and all this sort of stuff, which is cool. Like that's why I follow them. You're one of the few who like are pushing this, and obviously it's hot right now too, but like you've been pushing this. And I feel like you're the one carrying the flag while
need
others
to talk to me with Jason. We just fangirl all day long. There was like multiple days in a row.
You're reading Hickman stuff right now too. The Black Monday murders.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
What's up, guy? We got comic forms in the house.
A true genius. There were days in a row where Jason and I were just like Hickman, like basically just fanboying Hickman, like for days on end. I was like, why does nobody?
Yeah, well, and it's like I do feel
good.
like no, you're right, and it's like the thing with X-Men in general, and it's always been is like, or at least from what I've seen, there's obviously so many titles, there's so many storylines, there's so many characters that it is hard for a new person to get into the series. A big thing's just like where do I start? How am I supposed to know these characters right off the bat? There's so many to try to remember.
Power of X. Well, that is where you start.
No, I totally agree. But even now, let's say like right now, someone brand new is getting into it, and you tell them to start with House and Powers. Once they get through that, which is, to a new reader might be considered a lot. A 12-issue miniseries might be considered a lot. So even with that, and then they finish it and they're like, wow, that was great. Where do I go from here? Then you're going to bombard them with these like, well, there's 8 different titles. Yeah, and it's like, are you gonna
want to read? You can talk to Jason.
Yeah, if you want to, right?
You're giving me shortcuts. He's like,
you're right.
This, and then you get to this event.
You want to read this?
You get to choose your own adventure story. If you talk to Jason, I'm like, Jason, I just want to read Inferno. I want to read Trial of Magneto. And he's like,
remember the reading order I gave you, Justin, with like you know how like you could go. It's like pick your own adventure. Like you can go Inferno at one point, and you can go into the new ongoing X-Men, or you can go into Trial.
You were helpful. You were very helpful with the guide.
You could go many different places, so like that's cool. Honestly, to answer your question right there, I'd still recommend it right after Hoxpox. Go back to Claremont stuff because you need that.
Oh yeah.
It's like I don't care if you don't like the exposition, you need that stuff, man.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah.
I ended up doing that. Like that's how I read like Hoxpox, and then I started going back because Justin, you had like the Omni X-Men, and I started getting
which
really
you're going to be a guest on soon.
Yes, I am. So excited. But I got really into the characters because I think Hickman does such a good job of bringing humanity to so many of the characters that. And he writes with such an emotional drive that when you're reading it, for me, I was like, I like this character. I'm really attached to this character. Now I want to know like their origin.
I hear you. I hear you. John, I wonder if John comes in here and he's just like, wait, are we talking X-Men Hickman right now? How did we get to this?
Right? How'd this happen?
Wait, does he not like, or does he like?
Oh no, he loves it.
X-Men?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he loves X-Men.
Yeah, he loves X-Men.
He loves new and old.
Whether or not we can be friends or not is really based on whether or not
He's just as much of an advocate as I am, I think.
Yeah, he is definitely.
Okay, John, we need to talk.
For sure. Yep.
I just need to like create a community, and then we could all just talk Hickman stuff.
Come every Tuesday. Swing by. All the fans in the chat. They're all mutant fans.
I'm 100%.
And we're in the middle of not to plug this, but I'm plugging because I'm on my own channel, so I'm going to plug
Do
this. John and I for Omni X-Men this Tuesday, we're doing part 2 of Days of Future Past, and
Hell
I have to say, last episode this past Tuesday was one of my favorite shows that I've done as part of the.
I need to catch this live.
It's so, and with Eric especially, like all our guests have been great. It's just, like just this book, this story. For me, it was so easy. I mean, they're all like great, but just it was so easy for me to have like just all my energy is thrown into like every panel. Like I blew up all these panels. We talked about things very specifically, and I just loved every second of it. And that's only part 1. Like we only got through part 1. And there wasn't even as much action in part 1 as we're going to get to in part 2. So, I won't get into all that, but yes. So it's just a classic episode, a fun night. And Hailey, you should try to catch us live because it is definitely adds on. I mean, we do our Q&As and all that other stuff.
You need the points to win that fire ass, what is it? The commission piece.
Oh, this right here. Hold on.
Yeah, the commission piece.
Oh, boom. Bring it up.
How do I win this?
I want that.
Yeah, so you can win this if you get your name as part of our raffle. We ask questions at the end of every episode, and the first 2 to answer correctly get their name into our raffle, which we draw at the end of the season.
Okay,
which
but
is not
Jason's
like
X-Men Wikipedia over here.
No.
It's based on. Yeah, it's based on last episode. So sometimes we'll say something like, "What was John's T-shirt last episode?" or something like that. So you don't have to necessarily.
I'm about to be here binging all these.
So all you have to do is watch the previous one, and like some of it ties into like what was relevant. Like I think one of the questions I asked last week was what was the title of X-Men 40, the issue before 140, I should say. So things like that. But this is from Nicholas Lane 77. He is on Instagram. He has a ton of. I already own 5 pieces of art from him. 3 of them are X-Men related. 2 of them are Harley Quinn related, Harley Quinn and Punchline related. But all his stuff is beautiful. And he's a really great guy. So I thought it'd be a cool way to do like last season. I gave away an omnibus. That was my giveaway for last season.
That was a nice giveaway.
And the other thing too is like you only need 1 ticket. So Hailey, if you're just getting into this, like if you get your name in a couple of times, like we had one guy win something. We did a bunch of giveaways. Yeah, we had someone win something who only had 1 name in the raffle. So, but anyway, so that we do raffles, we do everything else, and everybody in that chat, they're all X-Men fans, they're all mutant fans, they're all
my favorite kind of humans.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like ones who have read these growing up. Some of them who are just getting into it now. So it's a really good mixture. Both of these guys are always, hanging out with us. You've been on the show multiple times, both of you. So it's just overall, it's a good time. So we're in the middle of some really fun stuff. So this is like this Tuesday coming up, Days of Future Past, 9:00.
Yeah, I saw you guys posted about it, and I was really excited. I wasn't able to catch it live, but I watched some of the replays. Yes,
yeah. There you go. John is giving
for our friendship.
Empire Comics in the house. What's going on, Emp? Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Oh, Alan, look at this. He says that he has the same Wave poster as you. 62 Lefty Blues.
Nice.
That's I was gonna say I've seen that before, right?
Yeah. Wave of Kanagawa. Sure. Yeah. One of my friends painted this for me, so.
Oh, really?
Awesome piece.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
John's when I said what was on John's shirt last episode, John said he wasn't wearing a shirt last episode. A lot of silly shenanigans that go on. Anyway, so great question, Hailey. Yeah, let's definitely plan for that. For everyone watching right now, if you want to tune in next time, we're going to talk about we'll break down X-Men the original number 1. We'll go in that direction. Also, I know we've had a guest on here before. I was recently talking to Candace, who was in our chat. I don't know if she's still here now or not, but she said that she'd be down to join us at one of these times. So I don't know. I'll talk with her more details, but it would be cool to have Candace join us for one of these breakdowns as we figure more stuff out. Oh, you're getting some more. This is good. There's some more Toby love right there.
Keep
John.
Them coming, John. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
You know what I have to show you? Hailey, you saw the Ted Lasso John, right? John being
Ted Lasso John is Ted
I showed you that
Lasso.
clip, right? Yeah.
Led
Please do
Tasso.
it.
Let's call him Led
That-
Tasso.
yeah, let's play this one. This was during our Halloween. We did
Oh,
like a
yeah.
Halloween special for
I
Omni
love
X-Men.
this.
Where's Johnny Boy? Here
He's
you go.
John, I
perfect.
don't pay for
He is
suits.
perfect.
My suits are on the house, or the house burns down.
I wish I could grow this like he
Well,
does.
all right. Cheers to you, my good man.
So the beginning of that segment, actually, that really is an episode you should go back and watch. You should watch the
That is
first
the first episode. I'm gonna go back and
the first like 5 minutes. I try my best to stay in like, and we say hello to the chat, and the entire time I'm just like dead straight face, and he just plays into Ted Lasso the entire time. It's
Oh, I
like
love that.
it's so
Both
good.
of
Yeah.
them.
I watched Peaky Blinders because of your costume, by the way.
Oh really? Oh, that's great. What you
It's a
started
great
watching
show.
Peaky Blinders?
Great
It is
show.
so good.
I had
Oh,
never
that's
seen
great.
it. Binged way too many episodes in
Oh,
way
that's
too short
awesome.
of a time.
We still haven't finished it yet. We only did 3 seasons so far, I think. We have another 2 more to go. So, and they're doing another one. They're coming out with another season.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So the
Finale.
fact that you were the costume and I'm now farther than you.
Your father. I gotta step up. I gotta step
You gotta
up.
catch up. You gotta catch up.
That's hilarious. That's great. I'm glad that you jumped into
So
that.
good.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hey, we got my man, Brother Joe. Brother Joe, station to you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by. He says the mayor working overtime tonight. That's right. Candace, by the way, says that she's down for being a guest and hanging out with you guys. Yes, awesome.
Yes.
I was just having a long discussion with Candace about the show You. And I don't know if anyone's
that's
watched
Ooh,
I can't
You watched
get
it, Jason?
behind that show.
That shit was fire.
Really?
I watched it. I'm not caught up,
Wait, the
but I
newest
watched
one?
it.
The Netflix series, the whole, just
I've
the show in
watched up
general.
I've watched up to season 2. I thought it was fire.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Oh my God.
The third season is probably the best season. It's so
Oh.
good. I posted something
I'm
and
gonna
Candace
just
was the
let
only
you
one that
guys say-
responded. I was like, man, I thought more people would be reading this or watching this. But yeah, I liked it. Haley, not for you. You don't like it, or you're not a fan.
I
Okay.
just like it
You like
was
the idea of
alright. Like I was.
Okay, all right,
I don't know.
okay.
It's fine.
I
I
watched the
also
up to
just am
season
not a
2, it was
true
fire.
crime, like, or not that's true crime, but I just like thrillers, crime. I don't know. I get bored really easily, just like really easily. Yes, I am overwhelmingly better. Like I'm just kidding.
Tony, we hurting your eyes, man. We hurting your eyes, Tony.
Overwhelmingly, yes.
Get Tony on this.
It
show
took
here.
3 hours to get this going.
But Justin, like you were saying earlier, like you're just easily like captivated or amused with TV shows. So like my taste in television is just like nothing anyone should measure their taste by. Like if I don't like you, that's fine. Because I watch
If you don't like me, or the show.
no, yeah. But
I had to throw
I
that
watch,
joke in there. I had to
Like
throw
I
that
watch
in.
like Emily in Paris, and like I know it's not good, but it's just super fun to watch. Or somehow I've like started watching like the new Sex and the City, which is like really really bad, but it's like a dumpster fire, like a car crash. You just can't like seem to like look away.
So
It's
that's
so
why you like
bad.
Spider-Man 3.
There you go.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly
Yeah, so
what I
my
was
taste in
thinking.
television is very questionable. So
Okay, all right. Yeah, Candace was saying to read the books of the show You that they're based on. There's 2 out right now.
Oh, I did not
So,
realize that.
That might be something that we dive into. So Tony saying, please. Yeah, we'll talk, Tony. We'll talk definitely. John, Spider-Man 3 is captivating in the way. Carrie, Ellis, who's that? Is it's from Saw, from the movie Saw.
But then go to his comment after.
Hey, Lady No Good. I am the same way. I watch all those. For the same
Yes.
reason. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Lady No
yeah.
Good. Yeah, Lady No Good is definitely. I mean, I watched the first episode of that Sex in the City that you had mentioned. The
Terrible.
first one.
The
Yeah,
worst.
yeah.
it just gets worse, and
Yeah.
yet every like time the new week episode comes out, I'm like, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna watch this for 40
just-
minutes of my life.
I just like the whole Peloton like drama and what marketing wise what it did
I
for the company
know.
Peloton.
That's why I started watching it too, because I was like,
What?
Peloton's marketing or stocks crashed because a character on Sex and the City died on a Peloton. Spoilers for anyone here
Yeah.
who would watch Sex and the City, I guess. But I thought that was ridiculous.
Now I'm not gonna watch it. Sorry. Now I'm
That's
not
the
gonna watch
highlight there. That's like the it ties into the current day news, so it's
Well,
it's
you
pretty.
ruined what my plans.
Yeah.
So, what am I gonna do now?
Yeah. And appreciate you, 62. Bob saying bye to Tony. Yeah, Lady No Good saying, I just watched
We need to talk.
the
I
new
need someone to
episode.
discuss these new episodes with,
Oh,
because there's a
she's-
lot happening, and I don't know anyone else who's watching it. So if
So-
you have an Instagram and want to DM me and have a conversation,
So I think it'd be great if Lady No Good started her own YouTube channel. Like she has her YouTube
Agreed.
account, and
She
YouTube
should.
can go talk about Sex in the City, and that would be the show right there. Yeah, she said
Good.
terrible but missing. So the other thing Lady No Good and I just watched, and I just got into it for the first time. I know we're going way off track here, but I had just watched the new season of Dexter. And I don't know if any of you watched Dexter
Wow.
Wait,
before.
say that again.
It's
What,
been a
what was
long
it? You cut
time.
out for me.
I watched the new Dexter season.
Oh, okay. No, I never got into that, but I heard it's great.
So I never watched Dexter. I've seen like one episode randomly one time years ago. Never watched it. Just didn't have the time. I heard it's good. And then randomly she started watching the new season, which just started earlier this year or last year. And I jumped in to just kind of watch along while I was like bagging and boarding or whatever. And I got hooked. I was like, this is fantastic. Like it was really good. You could jump into this and not, I mean, she'll tell you, you should go watch like the old
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah,
But-
It's good.
Yeah. Okay. So have you seen all of it, Hailey?
I've seen all of it. The ending of the last season was not good. But
Bad,
then,
right?
like,
That's-
they started it, and so now
So wait,
didn't know that it was out already. I haven't watched it.
Oh, so you haven't watched any of the new
I haven't
seasons?
watched the new.
Oh my
And I'm
goodness.
going to.
All right, Hailey and
Oh.
Lady No Good, a couple TV shows you guys can do shows on now.
One more
There you go.
TV show, Lady No Good. If you're still watching this, or I don't know if anyone in the chat would have watched this, but The Sex Lives of College Girls. It's written by Mindy Kaling. It's on HBO Max. That is like amazing comedy. Like it's so good. It's like definitely marketed more towards women, but it's so good.
Not familiar with that, but John's keeping these
she's a
rolling.
great
though.
comedian. She's a great
Yeah,
comedian.
but that show, I don't really usually like her writing or her humor, but that show specifically is just written so well. Just
Oh,
so
okay.
good.
I'll check it
Highly
out.
recommend.
John's he's just on fire. Lady No Good said, we sound like we have the same taste. Yeah, for sure. Haven't watched it. And Candace also, I've heard of that. It's on my list.
So
There you
good. Okay, Candace, Lady No Good. You guys both watch it. We start our YouTube
There
show
you go.
together.
Yes.
I feel like it's in the making.
Or she could just take over mine and you guys just
There
use
we
this
go.
one and
You do
the
it?
three of us will be booted. We'll be waiting backstage.
We'll be waiting back. Hashtag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love Life on HBO is really good too.
Agreed.
This is great. I always tell Lady No Good to chime in the chat, and she likes to stay quiet. But this is great. Seeing her.
This is
throw her
great.
I would
two
say
cents in
first
there.
season is better than season 2, but also still good for different reasons. So
There you go. So yeah, and then also Jason, we have to talk about Hickman later at some point with this new Black Murder
I need
Monday.
to read
Black
that.
Monday
Yeah.
Murders. I just
seeing
I
you
just
guys
finished the
post
trade.
clips, and I'm just like jealous that I'm not reading it because I'm reading like 15 other things.
The one I just posted the clip on my story, the song that goes with it, for whatever reason I just picture that like background of music in that scene, so just badass, but anyways, yeah, you definitely should, Hailey and Alan, you both should.
Do you guys listen to music while you read? Because I do. I
Mhm.
choose specific music when I
Mhm.
read specific books.
all the time.
All right.
Depends. It depends.
Really? I can't. I will get distracted. My mind will just be like,
You know what
I'll
I'm
just
a big
start
fan of?
singing the lyrics, and then I'll just be like, they were like jamming out.
Mine-
And then
Mine's
I've
not
lost
mine.
the
A lot of
book.
mine doesn't have lyrics, or if it does, it's like very
it's like
messy metal.
instrumental.
A lot like well, it depends. Like if I'm
Metal
reading Thor,
instrumental.
you should listen to a band called Amon Amarth. They are a heavy metal Viking metal band from I think Norway, from Sweden actually. And their stuff is just so Viking-y, like it's something to listen to while you read something like Thor. So I read that, or I'll do instrumentals like you'd mentioned,
Mhm.
Hailey, or there's some like hip hop stuff that I some of the lo-fi hip hop that's like
Oh, I like
super
lo-fi.
chill.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Yes.
that's perfect for like
That's what I
background.
do.
But it depends what you're
What I
reading.
like-
It depends what you're reading.
I like ambient music, like sounds, like rain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I did.
Put that
I
on.
listen I have on YouTube now. It's like that 10-hour crackling
Yep,
fireplace.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
the one
I
I
know what
read
you're talking
to.
about.
That's
Yep.
what I do. Like I'll put
You're
that
ready.
on. That's like the most ambient, or maybe rain. But I can't do like songs because then I'll just be.
Funeral march.
John's the
Funeral
only
march.
appropriate.
Nah,
Look at
he's
his job,
John's like, I don't
man.
care
I
what
know
y'all are
he likes
talking
the
about.
trumpet
He's like,
music,
we're
too.
going back to Spider-Man.
John can troll all he wants, but I know he likes that trumpet theme too. I know he does. Everyone does.
I can't.
Listen.
I honestly still can't remember. Watch the movie. Can't like pinpoint the trumpet. Like I went
Yep,
back and
it's-
was like, I need to like rewind and like pause, play, and like focus on trumpets. Because, like,
Well, I don't know
couldn't.
if I don't know if it's specifically trumpets or if it's a trombone or whatever the hell it is. But when I read Spidey, when something crazy happens in my head, that music goes
Trumpets.
off.
That's right.
That's
That's
great.
right.
All right, we're gonna put together our soundtrack of the movie review crew soundtrack for your listening needs while
Yes.
reading.
The most chaotic is
The
what it's
chaotic is gonna
be.
be. We're gonna be.
I'm gonna
all
start
over
a
the place.
Spotify playlist for us all.
There you go. I like
Can we
that.
please?
I'm
I
down
think
with
it
that.
would just be.
I'm
I
down with
honestly don't know what any of you guys like. Besides, like now this, but I don't know what you guys listen to for music. But now I'm assuming Justin, you just listen to metal. So
Everything. I listen to everything.
I'm
Viking metal.
excited.
I go from Amon Amarth to Taylor Swift. Like that is like two
Yes.
complete different things, and I'm all on board with all. of
Well,
them.
Alan said he was
Hey,
looking at
Tay.
a picture of like Fallout Boy, so like that gives me some inkling as to why. And I mean, I used to go to. Does anyone? I don't know if anyone went to this or remembers it. Warped Tour.
Oh yes, I knew you were gonna say
Yes.
that. The minute you said,
Yes.
"Is anyone gonna remember
Yes.
this?" I knew you were gonna say Warped Tour. Hey, we got
I did
JP
go
in
to
the
Warped
house.
Tour.
What's up,
What's
JP?
up,
He says
JP?
Spider-Man 3 is the equivalent Spider-Man movie to no good on this panel. All right, where's the remove button here, JP? No.
Yeah.
No, Warped Tour was fantastic up until I didn't
Was
like
it?
that they when they started having like Katy Perry as the headline and stuff like that. I'm just like,
That's not Warped Tour.
it's right. It's just not Warped Tour. Like that was completely.
Mm.
I wanted to go to like be introduced to new bands and like
Mhm.
at that
Mhm.
time, like I was listening to like I don't know if you guys know like Cute is What We Aim For or like
Yes.
Armor for Sleep and like Paramore was like when Paramore was not Paramore, like the
love
first
Paramore
their
forever.
first album with the couch like that stuff.
So good.
Yeah, the album with the couch. If you know, yeah. So all that stuff. Trying to think of some others, but anyways, that to me was like Warped Tour, and I know everybody has their own year depending like when you got into Warped Tour, when you got out of. Because at one point there was like hip hop and stuff too, and there was like Swayze, which was like hip hop, but it was
Ooh.
also like punk as well. And like,
Mhm.
do you remember that? Like Swayze, I just remember Swayze and like. But like if you go back years ago, it was like punk. It was just punk. So like
That's what I remember it as.
It's like,
or like
yeah,
Yeah, it was punk
hard
for me.
screamo. There's like I have like this visceral memory, and it's because there was. So I like hadn't like I went to Warped Tour for the first time like with friends who were really into like punk and like screamo music, and I was maybe into like Fall Out Boy. So
Baby Shark, Baby Shark, do 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 do. do.
and there's this
Right.
band called Suicide Silence. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of them.
Yeah. I know. Yep.
Okay, so like just really intense sounding like name. But
Yeah.
I remember being in like the pit and was like, we're gonna see this band. This is gonna be so fun. Oh my gosh, in middle school. I love it. And this
It's
guy comes
old.
out on stage and he just screams. I couldn't even understand because I just like hadn't listened to screamo music before. So I was like, what is happening? And he just like screams, supposedly, from what people have told me since that day, like push the person to your left as hard as you can. And I'm like this like little like 15-year-old, and I got like shoved to the ground. And I swear this like 6 foot, very large man, like very round, large man fell on top of me. And then like this guy, I don't know, someone picks him up, and then I just feel like these like people like grab my arms and like throw me up to the side and they're like, stay there. And I was like, what just happened?
The war zone. You were in a war zone right there.
Like, what do you think
Jeez.
the concerts are like?
You got saved though.
Wait,
did. I got
Yeah, thank
saved.
God.
I would like never moshed before at that point. It was like my first experience. And then I went to some band called I Set to Kill, and there was like I think women in the band, and so there was like women in the crowd, and I was like, I think I could do this. I think I could like throw elbows. Like
Oh no!
wait, Haley, did you see my recent? Well, it was like 2 months ago. My recent date night, Lady No Good and I, we went out to a
Yes.
concert.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
some
Did you
crazy-
see that? Did you see the pan where I like show the singer and then I turn to her and she's just like you know. Like,
I thought she was such a trooper for that because like yes, that
It
means
should
it
look
gives-
like she looked miserable.
it was great.
she was like, how many drinks can I have?
yeah. That was, it was funny because that wasn't actually the band we were going to see, and they were way heavier than the band we were going to see, but that was a great night. Anyways, John here is still going on with this one time I sat down too quickly and crunched. That was more enjoyable than Spider-Man 3.
Oh man, John. Oh.
Okay. Now people are just copy and pasting all around. So.
Yeah, I thought I saw that before.
Mm-hmm. We definitely did. Yeah, Lady No Good said I watched. We were near a bar and there was a TV up at the bar, so she's like big into sports. She loves football, so she's like, "All right, no, I'm good." Like I would look over and she's like looking up the bar. I'm like watching the show. Like I ended up going to the front.
My question is like, did you like bang your head and like mosh, or like were you like in it? You're like, I need to get to the. Are you one of those like I'm gonna get to the front and
So I did go. I went right into the center. Like I got pretty close to the front. But the reason I did that, I'm not one to mosh. I'm not into moshing. I enjoy watching moshes.
Fair.
Mosh pits are very entertaining to watch. And I like respect, anybody's into that, but I'm not, I'm not really into doing it myself to express myself in that way. But the band I was going to see, their name is Swallow the Sun. They're not really, they're more of a, what they call doom funeral death metal. And so they're much slower and more about like love and heartbreak, but in a, it's like darker, but it's beautiful at the same time. Anyways, they don't have like moshing opportunities, so there was no moshing there. But I was telling Lady No Good that like nowadays, if you go to like a random pop concert, like the kids will figure out a way to mosh. Like there's random people. Like I remember I saw Green Day on
Green Day.
That's Green Day. I mean, like not that like Green Day is like a moshing band.
No,
per
but
se, like,
it was newer Green Day that was singing like the new pop stuff that they sing, and kids were literally moshing that you would think that this was like Slayer was on, and it's not, and it's just like how do you that's not moshing, like I don't know, that blew my mind. I was still entertained because I'm watching these people fall over each other, but
Justin's like right outside the circle, just looking around, smiling, going yes.
I was always taught if you're on the outside of the circle, you just stand there with your fist out and you just be aware of everything going on, and then you're good to go. But that's my tip. That's my tip for moshing. So if I ever see anybody there, hopefully I see you all in the mosh pits one day.
it's very likely that you could convince me to be in a mosh pit. I was.
I will say, if you're at the right concerts, they are respectful. Like the people there will legitimately help you up. Like no one's trying to hurt each other. They're legit trying to just like get energy out, or some say there's like a form of like, I don't know if you want to call it dancing or not, but it's not. I mean, it's not like Tobey Maguire dancing, but but these forms of like expressing your energy to this music or whatever. But no one's trying. Like they'll help you up. They'll definitely help you up. But I don't know. There are jerks out there too. So who knows? Who knows?
I go with you. I'm about to get my jaw broken by someone. Yeah, they'll help you up. All right.
No, for real, like
they'll pick you up and like put you. You'll
really...
just body surf and not even want to body surf.
I've had that. I've crowd surfed before, unintentionally.
Oh no!
When I was like 14 to Dead Mouse. I don't know if anyone.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow, that's crazy.
Sounds like
I'm
fun,
in because
honestly.
I'm in Chicago. There's like Lollapalooza.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have like. Right.
Remember that?
Yeah. So there's like a specific place called Perry's that does like EDM, and I was like a freshman in high school. I was like 14, 15, and my friend had like gotten us passes, and because they were free, I was able to convince my parents like, you should let me go because you didn't have to pay for them. And so we went, and I just remember oh god, it was just like so trashy. Like these two dudes who were definitely older than me, like offered drugs, and I was like, no, I'm okay. And then like
God.
they were like, do you want to crowd surf? And I was like, I don't know. And then like they like pushed me up, and then like I like crowd surfed to like the middle of the crowd. And I remember just seeing a giant like mouse head and being so deeply confused because I didn't listen to EDM and was like, it was very tragic.
That's so
And I remember
confusing.
trying
Oh
to
my
like
God.
get out of the crowd. I found my friends, then we got McDonald's, and it was all right. But my first experience of crowd
Awesome
surfing
night.
was
That
to
sounds
Dead
like
Mouse.
awesome night.
And it was like 2 years later, I remember everyone really loving like that music. And I just, that is my experience. So
That's so awesome.
fun facts of my
Yeah, this is great.
Fun
younger
fact.
life.
I'm loving all these stories that we're all like. Let me just say, like, this is a testament to just how bad that Spider-Man 3 was, that we can't even hold a show for more than 45 minutes to rear off and go in another direction.
We're at
Like an
145
hour.
right now. We're at 145.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
we
is
did a
about
whole
No, I'm
hour.
saying the
on
last
Spider-Man.
40 minutes we've been talking non-Spider-Man stuff.
What are you gonna do?
That's all
We talked
right.
about X-Men. It took another 20, 30 minutes, and then
That's true. That's true.
it is what it is.
Sharing memories from my youth. So-
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Hailey moshing and body surfing. You know,
When I was an adult, yeah, sure.
All right, Alan, your turn, Alan. So give us something crazy,
Oh
Alan. Give us
God,
something-
no. Oh man, I remember buying like a $10. I don't know if you know BFD, like Big Effing Day. Like there's like Foo Fighters was like the
Foo
main
Fighters.
headliner,
Huh.
but I remember
So
paying
good.
$10 for like a fake T-shirt that said "Foo Fig Hers" like as that shirt. So I remember buying so many like $10 fake shirts, and there's always like one band where like they did like the name, like they misspelled the name. I was like, oh my god, this is like. But I repped all those shirts every year. BFD, Shoreline Amphitheater. I'm in the Bay Area, so that was my jam. Foo Fighters was my jam for like the longest time.
I mean, they're still great. I mean, I'll still go back
Yeah.
and listen to Foo Fighters anytime.
Yeah, man,
Guitar
stuff.
Hero.
so good. Yes.
I used to be life right there.
Guys, I have a confession.
Tell me you're like a professional.
Alas.
Tell me you're like one of the best in the world. No, I have a friend that I used to work with. Her name was Jenny, and she, like, you would never think, like, you know, she's in a lot of different things, but not guitar and certainly not metal and all sort of stuff. And she used to be one of the best people I knew at Guitar Hero. She literally, tell me you're gonna say
Do
something.
through
Like
the fire and flames on like
that.
Expert.
Yeah.
No,
Excellent.
I can't do
couldn't-
expert.
I could
wish
barely
I
do
was that
slow
good.
ride on. No, I could do slow ride. I could do
I
slow
love slow. No, I mean I am good, but like at a medium hard, I can do like 100% perfect. My name
Nice.
is Jonas or Miss Murderer. We've kept
Nice.
like
Ms. Murderer. Nice.
we've kept like
ride.
a old school, like a earlier Xbox. Like we have 0 games except for Guitar Hero, like World Tour, like I refuse to give up. Like we don't play for anything else. I'm like, I need Guitar Hero in my life. If I do not
Yes.
have it, I will be a sad person.
That's so great.
I love it. Like a good
Great.
Friday night to me sounds like having a couple of drinks and playing Guitar Hero. And like there's like some arcade bars around here, and then when they have guitar, like that's it, game over. Like I'm just gonna be, you could find me at Guitar Hero. I will like not engage
So
in anything else. Like,
They have them at Dave and Buster's. There's Dave and Buster's. I mean, I haven't been there a couple
Yeah.
years now. But
Yes.
they used to have the Guitar Hero stuff there. You could still, you know, put a coin in or whatever to play, you know, a certain amount. That was a great game. Epic game for
it's
sure.
so good. It's so
For sure.
fucking good.
I mean, they made a South Park
So
episode
good.
about it. So I mean,
It's so good.
that's saying something. That was a great episode too. Yeah, anytime I hear like a famous song that's based on that, I would always tell people like, oh, I could play that on Guitar Hero. And everyone's like, oh,
I'm not
alright.
musically inclined. I think that's the reason why I'm so attached to it. I'm not musically inclined. I'm like very tone deaf, can't sing, but will sing karaoke often, and then can't play any musical instruments. But then we'll also play with guitar.
Wait, you will sing karaoke often?
Yes.
Is that what you said? Oh
Look,
my
I
gosh.
just- I
If
love
we
karaoke.
all ever get together, we have to sing karaoke.
So I just shared a video from that I made from Baltimore Comic Con, from my time in Baltimore Comic Con this past year, and I don't know if you watched it, but
Yes.
my good friend Nigel, aka Desired Comics, we went out at like midnight till 3 a.m. and it was a bunch of us. Sparks Comics was there, Caroline's Comics was there, Phil from Comic Talk Weekly was there, JR that was with us this last episode show, he was there. We were out at this bar, found this cheap karaoke night. We also ran into Afua Johnson. I want to say her last name is she's an artist, but she's also a creator for I think some HBO series right now. Anyway, she was there for the Comic Con.
That's awesome.
So she was singing, and Nigel were both singing, like they were taking turns basically singing like Fall Out Boy and Taylor Swift and all these songs. I had put together a clip and I like matched his lips up with the song. So you have to go watch that later. It's on my story right now. I just put it up. It was like a reel. But anyways, what I was going to say is, Hailey, we are looking into booking already for C2E2 coming up in this July or August 5, 6, 7. I think it is 5th, 6th, 7th. If it's not on your list, you got to put it on your list. We're going to be out in Chicago for like a week.
No. Yeah, I mean, even if I didn't go, which I'm going to, but if I didn't go, I like live in Chicago. Like I live in the city. So like I would be able to.
Oh yeah.
Like monopolize all of your guys' time after the con.
Sweet.
But Alan, where are you located, by the way?
I'm located in like the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, you're like what? Okay. No,
I'm totally west.
I was just telling Jason that I'm thinking of from like college to like a couple years after college, I went every single year. I don't actually, Jason, I don't think I told you this, but I went to New York every single year for my birthday. Oh. And so I'm thinking of going this year for my birthday again, or at least doing a trip afterwards, depending on just like work stuff. And so we shall.
When is this?
My birthday's in April.
Oh, okay.
So it would be in a couple of months, but if I come to New York, I was like, how far is Jersey? I've never been to Jersey.
I told her we live right across the water. Like
we're
nothing.
Yeah.
Right,
but basically, I want to see you guys.
Yeah, heck yeah, that'd be awesome.
I would be down to go. Have to like hang out, and Alan, I'll give you my travel schedule, and we can just match up.
We'll get Alan.
Yeah, let's match up. Yeah.
Because I think it would be so fun. Yeah. And then everyone should just come to C2E2 because C2E2 is really fun. And then Chicago is just.
I'm down to go to C2E2.
Has really great food and has me, which is more than enough.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk to Jason about this yet, but Jason, you got to come with us to C2E2.
Word to C2E2.
Agreed.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. And Baltimore, you should come.
If I'm coming from the West Coast, you guys got to go.
It's so much fun. Oh, yeah.
Like, no, I'm legit like about to take off. Like, I'm already gonna put in time and all that stuff for that. And it's literally back to back from so there's San Diego Comic-Con, which is the week before Terrificon. So
are you going to that?
I'm not going to San Diego, but after San Diego Comic-Con is Terrificon, which is my personal favorite, and that's in Connecticut. Jason, I hope you're there for that. And then literally the following, so it's 3 weeks in a row. Then the week after that, going into August, is C2E2. So I'm going to be one of the happiest guys ever, and also one of the most broke people ever after going through these sets. I'm not going to San Diego.
I was so poor after C2E2. I was like, why did I just like sat there and was like looking at my bank account. Why did I do this to myself?
Yeah.
And like, it's not even necessarily like spending the money at the Dave and Buster's.
Oh, Bobby, there you go. Afua Richardson. Thank you for that.
Afua.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's on Instagram. She does a bunch of really beautiful artwork as well. And she's like a writer, I know at least 1 or 2 HBO series that are out right now. Oh, Lady No Good said we can meet up and yeah, there you go, Hailey.
Yes.
Because she's not talking to me there. I know she's not talking to me
there. We can 100% do that.
Look at, John is still going with these, by the way. He's talking about Dumbledore now.
With the amount of these things John's been typing, I'm now convinced in 2007. There has to be a personal reason. In 2007, he either got got mugged outside the movie theater, or like he got, something happened to him right outside
bad.
before he was about to see the movie. Something must have happened.
Perhaps. So what did you four do that you had to punish yourself by watching? Yeah, see, JP, this is we were mentioning in the beginning. We had decided to watch, go out of our way to watch Spider-Man 3 because I actually have never watched it originally. So this was my first time taking some time to actually watch this.
And Jason gave it an 8.0. Great.
And Jason gave it an 8.
Well, that's the
8.5 white
grade.
pages.
That's the nostalgic grade, but the real grade was a 6.
Which is also
like Hailey's
but I did say it could go down to a 5. So.
She will not let that go, Jason. You're done. You're done, man. So that's why we're here talking about this movie, Spider-Man 3.
Even though for an hour, 1 hour was Spider-Man, 1 hour was miscellaneous talk, literally just like hanging out.
I feel like
which was great.
I enjoyed it.
Totally great. Awesome. All right, so for next time, which we'll plan another date for whenever we do the next movie review crew get together. Probably, I mean, I like how we're kind of doing this like every other week or every 3 weeks or whatever the case may be. We'll pick the next one, but when we do, we're gonna do X-Men. Agreed? Are we all on board with that?
Yes.
Agreed.
For sure.
Agreed. Yes.
Unless John got jumped outside the movie theater in 2000 or whenever that was.
I'm still here for
He has a problem
that.
with
Like
that.
John could just like troll you. I woke up this
I
morning
welcome it too.
to John just trolling Jason and then like letting me know about it. Like that was like what I woke up to this morning. I was like, what a great morning.
Yep. That was fantastic. Tony says you haven't talked about the movie for 45 minutes. Yeah, it's true. That's why we have John to kind of sprinkle these in, as we continue talking about
remind us that we were here for Spider-Man.
Hailey moshing. Yeah. He says, are you gonna watch something better next time? Something like Age of Apocalypse.
We'll get there.
We're gonna get there, John.
We'll get there.
Terrible.
Yeah. When was the first X-Men that came out? What year was that? Was that the 2000?
2000 or 2001, right?
It was 2000.
The first one?
And then
2000?
the next one was,
it's
like
older than that.
2000, 2003, 2006, 2009, and then 2011. And then we get the Wolverine. And then 2014 is Days of Future Past.
That one.
Is it bad?
No, Days.
That shit was terrible. The beginning scene was dope. That's it.
What was the one I liked? Last Stand? Was that the one that I really liked?
Then there's X-Men Apocalypse 2016,
Terrible.
Logan 2017, X-Men Dark
terrible.
Phoenix. Wait, there was an X-Men in 2019?
Dude, Dark Phoenix?
Yo,
in the
that
theater.
one, I said to John,
I saw it in the theater.
They had no excuse to they had so many chances to get it right. The Dark Phoenix one, they had no excuse to drop the ball on.
No
that
excuse.
one, honestly.
I counted the
So
people in the
many.
theater with me. There were 12 people with me in the theater when I
That is
watched
so
it.
sad.
1, 2, 12 people. Oh,
Wait, what?
Terrible.
Can we talk about Last Stand for a second? Did you guys like Last Stand? Was that okay?
It's nostalgic
no
for me,
idea.
but I'd say it's a bad movie, but it's nostalgic good for me. So
Really? Oh,
Which means it's trash because again,
I loved it.
Rated
Which means it's
Spider-Man.
From what I remember, I really enjoyed that film.
And
So-
that's how he's gonna
Oh,
go about where
God.
like the nostalgia factor for Jason just like raises it like 18 bars, and then I'm like, the movie's
Well,
so
like,
bad.
See, listen. I could be nostalgic, but I could be a realistic person. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh wait, no, not Last Stand. Sorry, no, not Last Stand. The one with when they're all young, when they all start out young.
X2?
oh.
oh wait,
no,
no. First,
after
you're talking
X3.
about the no, yeah.
Not Last Stand. Sorry, John. Not Last
First
Stand.
Class and all that.
First Class.
First
That's
Class.
what I'm thinking.
It
That
was
was what
First
I'm thinking of.
Class.
First Class.
Terrible. They did Emma dirty. They did Emma dirty, bro.
Oh yeah, but I didn't have that relationship with Emma at the time, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
They
But
did
I still
you
like
like Kevin Bacon as Shaw, as Sebastian Shaw.
Oh,
What?
no.
Terrible.
I mean,
What?
now
Is this what I have to look forward
Outta here.
to?
now that I know
You
Sebastian
chose
Shaw a little
this.
more,
You chose
may-
this,
you know,
Hailey. You chose this.
I did choose this.
Yeah,
I
First
chose
Class,
this life
First
for
Class.
all of us. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You get to relive all
Yeah.
of this. I get to put myself through the
Jason.
torture for the first time, I guess.
This is intoxicating enough for me.
Okay, so
It is.
so I was
It
getting
is.
Last Stand mixed up. Everybody's writing Last Stand. I was thinking of First Class, but even so, First Class though, I definitely, He said you came this close to canceling your ass. I really don't remember much about Last Stand. If that's the one, well, I won't say anything if we're gonna watch some of this stuff. But yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking of, then okay.
They're all bad, bro. Like literally.
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. From what I watched like the first one. Like I wasn't very attentive when I was watching it, but I watched the first one. Was like
X2 is X2 is good. Like the 2003 or whatever that one is.
I was like, I'm glad I read the comics first and really love the comics, because otherwise this would be some BS that I'm stepping into.
I love this series, by the way. Let me just tell you guys, I love how we're watching movies that might be really horrible.
I feel like that should just be the theme. Like, obviously, like there's like new movies that are coming out and they'll be hopefully really good. But I'm really here for this, like these trashy early 2000s.
Why do you think I'm so enthusiastic about tonight with Spider-Man 3? You know,
it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, John says 10 people are watching the show and 3 are JP, Tony, and me backstage on the show. Yeah. He said, Jason, why do you have a short box with 2 lids? He's very observant.
One of a kind.
He's very observant.
He's one of a kind.
I'll sell it to you.
Yeah. So all right. So yeah, we'll put that on the list for the next one. So we'll have to figure out
you figure it out. You figure out you have so many shows and stuff. So
yeah.
We're all free. Me out here being like, I have a YouTube channel that I kind of post to.
Yeah, same here.
Haley, what's going on? I thought, you're on Origins. I'm like, hey, everybody, here comes some new content.
Like, oh, you're promoting you? What are you doing with your life?
Put out.
What are you doing?
0 content.
I put out, actually, I don't even remember the last video I put out. So apologies for that one.
You tried to do one of the 25-minute breakdowns. I forget what book you were reading.
Okay, I did videos after that, sir. So
okay. So that's what I remember talking with you about. Hey, we got Love Face back. Love Face is back with their services.
The services, you already know where to go.
No, I think my last video was honestly a C2E2 haul, which means it's been like an entire month. So,
all right,
I will get there. Yeah. Actually, Jason and I, Jason's like the surprise. We'll be breaking down the 15 Lives of Henry August, which is an inspiration to Hickman's Moira and like her multiple lives.
It's a really good book.
We'll be doing that.
Sick.
We just have to finish the book. AKA, I have to finish the book because he reads a lot faster than I do.
Nah, don't.
Yo, Jason, you do.
I was spoiled.
He was out here spoiling things for me. Like,
Jason, you eat books, man. The way you read, man. You and Victoria V. Shout out to you guys. And
goes through fast.
The picture books.
Yep.
So it's not. Don't praise.
No, boy, I'm reading the same picture books, and it takes me like 3 weeks. It's like
same here.
We're actually getting it through like pretty quickly. Highly recommend if you guys want to read it and then end up joining it, y'all come. It's so good.
I'm gonna look into getting the audio version if they make it for
that.
What
is it?
You should
first 15.
15 Lives of
Henry August by Claire North.
Okay.
So you said it's based on the ideas of Hickman, or Hickman actually helped write this book?
Hickman got inspired by this.
Oh, okay, apparently. Okay. So he didn't write.
That's how he creates her Moira's many lives in House of X, Power of X, and just from the first sentence of that book, you end up reading it and you're like, oh yeah.
Ooh, nice. That's crazy.
That is correct.
It's really good though.
They're talking about your boxes, Jason. John said, if your goal is to watch unredeemable movies, you've peaked.
I don't know if we've peaked. I mean,
we haven't peaked yet.
We haven't peaked. That was the lowest grade was my grade, which was the 3. I feel like we can find a film that is
we can find a 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has a consensus of a 1.
Yeah, picture books, they're tough. They're hard. John said that movie is based on Hickman, like Spider-Man 3 is based on Marvel comics.
Oh, ouch, John.
I don't
Coming
think
in
I
hot.
don't know if he copied and pasted that one, Jason. I think that one
No,
was
I
off
don't
the
think
cuff
so.
there.
That one wasn't.
Yep, you're like, that was personal.
That was yeah. John, just wait, man. You have your regular Saturday shows, and best believe Jason will be up in the chat there, getting right.
Oh,
with
Nah,
it,
he's
for
with his
sure.
daughters. What am I gonna start cursing and like? No, I ain't gonna do that. You're like,
No,
oh,
I feel
you
like
can-
I failed that one. I was like, I can't, we can't, and then
No, you could totally troll John. Just don't do it on the Omni X-Men show.
I'll make sure to do it on when it's on
Don't
your
troll that
channel
one.
only.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right. We are at the 2-hour mark. This is always
Oh,
a
jeez.
blast. Always a blast. 2-hour mark.
Of
The glass.
Spider-Man 3.
The glass is getting
Wow.
pretty low here.
the wine bottle is getting.
Oh. That's what next time I'm gonna have to just bring the bottle down. It's just easier. Yeah, what do you got there?
There we go, Alan. Yes.
Alan, what is that?
Oh, I got some Texas bourbon here.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like Alan is always
That's right.
coming in with the really nice stuff.
Yeah,
Mine
fancy.
is like
fancy.
For sure.
There you
Pretty
go.
sure it's like $10 wine from like a.
Haley's like, there was a guy selling
Hey, get
something
the
out in
job
his
done.
truck, and so
Job done. Get the
the-
job
a white truck that just said wine on the front.
Someone opened their jacket and was like,
Yeah.
So you want one?
It's like me in the Nightwing 78s. Just
Yeah,
done. 100%.
Yes.
Yes.
trying to make a deal. Yeah, trolling on Omni is my job. Also, Cyclops. Yeah, JP is always there to troll on Omni X-Men. That's right.
Yes, for sure.
His trolling is, there's a lot of people who agree with JP, so it's only half trolling, really. Like, there's a lot of people who truly stand with how he feels about Cyclops. So, but anyways, all right, we're gonna wrap this up. Last thing I'm gonna plug is you guys should go read Rain if you haven't read Rain yet. I twisted Jason's arm. He enjoyed it.
That shit was
Yeah,
You
spot
read
on.
it 3 times, right? Ooh.
About to be 4.
I need to read.
I'm
I
about
need
to
to
buy
read
it
that.
tomorrow.
Yeah, do it up. Yeah, pick it up or download it or
that was
however
really good.
however you get it. Yeah, I even had Lady No Good read it. She loved it. She doubted it. I don't know if she's still watching now. She's probably sleeping at this point, but she doubted it, and she thought that.
I did
remember
too.
we were about. Yeah, yes, sure, you did too.
I was like, that's not probably not for me. And then I was
Right?
like,
That's
wow,
yeah.
it's pretty good. You know?
Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
This guy.
Yeah. So yeah, go read Rain whenever you guys get a chance. It is fantastic, and definitely a fan. And it's by David M. Boer. Actually, it's Joe Hill created the story. David M. Boer was the one who had
Love Joe
read it.
Hill.
So, and David M. Boer I actually had as a guest here on the channel not too long ago, interviewing him for comic creator origins. So that was a lot of fun. And he's just a really nice guy, really nice getting to know him. So wanted to kind of show some extra love his way for all the things he's been doing. And also Zoe Thorogood, she did the artwork. So that was really, really great, really unique style of artwork. Anyways, yeah, Tony says, wrap this up. I'm just getting started.
This guy.
Yeah. All right, gang. Other than that, we'll plan it out. We'll reach out to everybody, let y'all know when we'll come back with this next show, talking about X-Men #1.
Yes.
And yeah, look, Tony's already. He's like, so what did you guys? How'd you enjoy Spider-Man 3?
2 thumbs down.
Watch your replay.
Oh,
Watch your
Jason,
replay.
you were like 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, he was
Excuse you.
definitely.
I have 2 answers though, so it's one's this and then another
No,
one's this.
no.
Okay,
the other one was like
it's
this.
Still like
It's
a.
more
It's
like
like
this.
a. It's
This
like
is like
kinda-
this.
Yeah,
Six-
it's like
six and
it's
eight
like
and a half.
one's up and one's
You're
like kinda-
waffling.
You said white pages too, so that's just
Yeah,
like,
you
I
made
stand by
it.
that. The nostalgic
Yeah.
feeling, 100%.
You went white pages, bro.
100%.
all right, gang. If you're not following Haley, Alan, and Jason, make sure you do so. I put their information in the description below. If you're watching the replay, thanks for taking the time to watch this super long and fun replay. Smash the like button on your way out, and we will talk to you